Hey, this podcast coming out right now, you can listen to Bert Kreischer's elongated description of it, which would inevitably lead to a 18-minute read of, Nails Plus or something. I don't know. Really, honestly, yeah. Fake fingernails have made my family complete. We click them around at each other when we high five. No, hang on. I have a long story. Bert Kreischer is the authentic article to a fault. Yeah, this is a SwapCast Kreischer and I did. Bert Kreischer is my newest friend ever. I love Bert Kreischer. Bert Kreischer makes me feel funny and alive, and I want to eat his heart to steal his joie de vivre. And his podcast is sponsored by who? Let's just rattle him off.
I didn't hear him.
Oh, he loves everything. He loves everything but ticket sales in Singapore. If you're in Singapore, go see Bert Kreischer.
We're putting in our sponsors.
What? Oh, our sponsors? Oh, Movement Watches. He doesn't have one of those. Pro Flowers. Does he have Pro Flowers? Who's he going to send them to? Everyone? Because he loves everybody. He's happy to... Everyone's his favorite, the best in the world. You know what? You have the best thing ever. He's a king of superlatives. So send flowers to everyone that you think is the best in their field. All right, here's us. This is a fucking great SwapCast. What? Well, talk back to me. Oh, you don't have a mic.
Wendy.
Wendy.
Explain Wendy.
Oh, yeah, Wende Curtis. Well, will you explain that in the podcast? No. I'm not going to do what Bert Kreischer does and tell you what's coming up in the podcast so you don't have to hear the podcast. Yeah, during it, we discuss how Wendy doesn't hate me after all. Yes, Wende Curtis was a fantastic hostess, owns the Comedy Works in Denver that I always shit on because I played it once and I thought they hated me, so I fucking hated it. Until she was the perfect host. And we showed up with a posse. We showed up with Andy. Inman actually showed up at some point, which leads to the next podcast you're going to hear. Oh, God, Andy and Inman. Oh, they fucked up. Mostly Inman. And Joby and Chad Shank and Jenny. I showed up, we come into her beautiful house, poolside at this King Arthur round table, long 10-seat table, set up perfectly for smoking and drinking and podcasting outdoors in Denver, and I got my own cook and my own bartender. Tracy's slinging drinks, Joby's in there grilling, cutting steaks. No, you just relax, don't worry. We brought our own service industry to your house. It was so fucking fantastic. Not to mention a co-host, a producer, and Bert Kreischer, who I love and adore. If you're in Singapore, go see Bert Kreischer. Here's the SwapCast.
You want to sit next to me? Chaille, you want to sit next to me and just look at it? Come on in. Come on in. Yeah. We're recording right now, by the way. This is what I love about my podcast, is that I love the authenticity of when it starts. Do you like that? You guys are connoisseurs of my podcast, correct?
Well, yeah, we are. Well, you start with you do an intro to it.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
Doug loves that, though.
I never listen to my podcast because Chaille edits them. But what we do is we start record right away, and then at whatever point.
Your podcast is, but you guys have a lot more, legwork behind your podcast. Like, you guys do breaks, and then you take a break. I'm all by myself, so I just do mine straight. What do you think of the level, Chaille?
Well, a lot of our breaks are fake. Like, Chaille goes, oh, yeah, we were supposed to do a read on this one. So then we do a fake break. Okay, Chaille says, okay, say, we'll be right back. And then we can put the read that we did 2 days later into it, and then... We got to get on a regular schedule.
Look at Chaille, just so working it.
I need someone,
Chad. You need Chad to talk.
No, Bert, talk.
I'm talking right now.
Oh, you're number 2. Okay,
Yeah.
no, check it out.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you need to be up more than what you had. Okay, Chad, give me a level.
So those breaks are fake? Because I pee during those.
I've been in those breaks.
Oh, no, we have real breaks, but sometimes we actually fake a break when it... This is so many things. Chaille overworks our podcast so much.
Your podcast sounds great. By the way, I love pod calling.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
I was just listening to that on the plane here to see what you guys are talking about, and yeah, it's fucking great.
Yeah, pod calling's great.
Well, I thought it would be annoying after I never thought that how many people on Twitter, like one person is all it takes.
Yeah.
But then you're going to get this same repeated tweet. Hey, Doug Stanhope's pod calling you. Like, I can imagine Mad Flavor going, what is with all these tweets?
Joey's the last guy you want to pod call.
Yeah.
Because he'll be like, dog, what the hell? What's going on? Like, you know what we did? Joey and I were on Joey's podcast and got probably, I didn't eat edibles, but probably the highest I've ever been around a human being. And we started telling a story about Ralphie May. By the way, this is not a pod call, so no one tell Ralphie about this.
Yeah.
Can you just keep this away from Ralphie? One time, he came into my podcast with Joey, and he fell asleep in the middle of it. And then,
wait, who did? Ralphie or Joey?
Ralphie, both of them at different times. But Ralphie
working shifts.
That's a lot of sleep apnea in one room.
My favorite is when Ralphie fell asleep. Because Joey's in the middle of telling a story, Ralphie falls asleep, and Joey's still telling his story. He's like going, look at me, going, the fuck, like, but he's still telling his story. And then Ralphie got up and fell on one of the girls' chairs and just destroyed it. But Joey told the story wrong, but I wasn't going to correct him. He was like, yeah, he fell in a fucking dollhouse and demolished it. And so I was like, yeah.
Like
so then
Godzilla?
Ralphie texted me. He's like, dude, do I owe you a dollhouse? Wendy, do you play Ralphie? Right now we're at Wendy's house. Wende Curtis. She owns the Comedy Works.
Hiya.
So Wendy, let's start with the idea.
Why do you hate me so much?
There we go.
I don't hate you. Oh my God, it breaks my heart to think that you think that I hate you.
I think Wendy,
I don't even know if I actually met you. I thought the only time I worked the Comedy Works, I thought you were out of town.
I don't even remember. It was so long ago.
Well, yeah, I don't think you were there. That's why you wouldn't remember.
Right. So then
Or
how
you
could
might
I
have been there
hate
the
you?
first night. I think you were there the first night, not for the rest of the week. I remember you had some like retired cop that worked security. And
Yeah.
it was the last night, and I flicked him some shit just jokingly. And he stopped me at the end of after everyone's gone and said, don't you ever make me put me in that position again. And it was just so minor.
Right.
I just,
Like no sense of humor.
I never got booked back, so I assumed you hated me.
Well, and it could be such that for whatever reason you didn't get booked back, but then it happens that,
I suck too. I didn't have a good week.
I don't know about that, but obviously you have a name and because I thought that you were just doing small theaters and rock and roll clubs and things like that.
Oh no, back then, I was pretty weak.
What year is this?
I was a
it was a
strong
long
horse in
time
a
ago.
weak field, but here, I don't know if you still do it. Comedy Works has always rotated out like local headliners as your opening act. So,
Right.
And so it's a different guy every night, every show. You don't know who you're following, and I didn't have the chops to, deal with, all right, this guy just blew it away in a different way than the guy on the first show blew it away, and how do I adapt?
all my hosts this weekend all fucking destroyed. And I was like, I was watching Frank Castillo was going up after him, and he'd come in the green room, and he goes, they're fucking lighting it on fire out there. Yeah. So wait, so did you know Joey Diaz?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Way back when he was a new talent guy.
Do you love Joey? Do you miss Joey?
I love Joey now. He was a pain in my ass back then.
Wait, give me an old school Joey Diaz story.
He was just Joey. That's who he was. He
was always that guy.
He was always that guy.
See, I met Joey and Joe after when they became new people. Like I remember even Joey telling me, he's like, dog, you don't remember Joe when he didn't smoke weed. He was against it. Like he used to fucking really hate weed. And then I think you told me a story about Joey where you're like, dude, there was a very different Joey than we all know right now. What would you call him? Joey Nichols?
Oh, that was mid knowing Joey. I met Joey on a Tribble gig when he was a host, like the house MC at the Joker Broker in Boulder, Colorado. I remember it because I had a driver's license from that gig address. I lived on the road for 3 years, so I didn't have a fixed address, but I found out as my license was expiring, you get it the same day in Colorado. So I just used the address of the gig, went down there, and I had a Colorado license of the place that Joey was the once a week Tribble gig. And the first time he came in, he's like, I can't stay long. I got the push me, pull you flu. I don't know which end to aim at the wastebasket and which one to aim at the
push me, pull you flu.
Yeah, just going out of both ends.
It's so funny. The only Joey I know is the guy that I see at 4th of July for the family parade with his daughter and his wife. And there's like still a hint of the old Joey. And then like there's this mom, I don't know her name. She's like trying to be a Periscope superstar, I guess. And so she's on Periscope.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's the new YouTube superstar.
Her name's Rice Baby. She's Asian. I'm not even joking. And she's periscoping, and she's like, "What's up, fam?" She's like, "Yeah, I know. It's a little heartbreaking, but I have a couple cocktails in me. We're at a park. She's got her periscope up. She's got 6 viewers, and I said, "Hey, you want to increase your viewership?" She's like, "Yeah." And so I share it with all my fans. They start showing up. I go, "Hey guys, let's look for Joey Diaz." She goes, "Who's Joey Diaz?" she's brand friendly for whatever brand she has. And then I bring her over to Joey Diaz, and he's sweating, and he's like, "What's up, cocksucker?" And he takes over her periscope, and it's fucking hilarious. And then my daughters come up, they're like, "Uncle Joey," and he's like, "What's up, El Diablo?" And they're like, "Oh, that's Isla?" And this poor woman's periscope, I don't know her name, Rice Baby, I think is it, but
Wendy. What does your husband do for a living? Because I don't want to believe that you can build this kind of estate off owning a comedy club.
He's not my husband.
Wait, talk directly into the microphone.
And he's my boyfriend, and he's only just now moving in. This is my house.
Whoa.
Comedy built this.
This is the house that comedy built.
You give so many comics that are at our age false hope that you could make money off of
why didn't I
making
just buy
a comedy club. But
no, you guys can make it faster than I can because I got 200 and some employees between the 2 clubs and the restaurant and all that.
But every comic at a certain age considers, I should just get my own club. Do you know any comic that stopped and was successful making a comedy club?
No.
I don't know a single one.
No, I don't. Yeah.
I think that's such a rare thing that you've got both sides of that. I think there's some great comedians with a good business sense, but I think the minute that you start trying to blend that into a career, you're doomed.
I think there's you're either a good comic or you're a shitty comic with a good business sense. I don't think you can be a good comic with a good business sense.
I think there are some good comics with a good business sense.
Yeah,
but I don't think they have any business owning a comedy club.
Business of comedy, but not business of
exactly.
Business.
They have a good business sense.
Who's the best business comic you've ever worked with? The guy that's like, "Hey, let's increase the ticket sales to $32 and whatever."
Well, I do think that Rogan is a pretty sharp business person at many different levels.
Yeah.
And I think
what about Bill Burr?
I don't know that side of him enough to know that. I love Bill Burr though.
Does he look when you give him the check at the end of the week, does he look at it?
I don't remember.
Like I always wonder if Bill is I get ticket counts and I stress about ticket counts. And I said something to Bill one time. He's like, "Dude, they sell out." And I was like, "Oh, there's 2 types of comics. There's comics that worry about ticket counts and comics that don't." Segura, by the way, stopped worrying about ticket counts.
Oh, then I guess I'm a third transgendered kind of comic. Because
why? What are you?
I don't care at all.
But there's comics that don't look at ticket counts, that don't sell ticket counts. Burr sells out. Segura sells out. So they don't have to be concerned about it anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they did at one point, and you're sold out. Aren't you sold out tomorrow night?
Tomorrow, yeah, but we just got done this run of half shitholes in the Midwest. I sold out 88 seats in Duluth.
Yeah, but who cares in Duluth, right?
I know, it's an 88-seater. I like playing some dank places where I don't feel any compulsion to... it's probably... I don't know what the word is. There's sometimes I like going to a shithole where I go, hey, the onus is on them. If I do poorly here, I don't give a shit. I don't have to go back. I don't have open mic where I live. So I just go out on the road.
That's not a bad idea.
You play places they really appreciate you coming. And if they don't know you, some of these places had no fucking idea who I was. And it's a 140-seater. You just got it half full. But I don't care. I'm trying to work shit out, and I have fun there.
I don't care about Singapore.
Well, not now that you can't sell a
sold 200 seats in a 650-seater. I was going to do a video because I do videos to promote my dates, Wendy. I was going to do a video and go, hey guys, this video is for just those people who bought tickets. I want to thank you, and I need you each to bring 3 more friends to my show. If you're finding out that I'm playing Singapore, this video isn't for you. This is for people who already know I'm there.
I was going to ask you, a comic, the fatal flaw in a comic trying to run a comedy club would be he's going to book people he likes, not people like.
Well, Andy thinks he's funny. I mean, I helped these people in New York City do this club, and that was the deal. Like,
you talking about Vinnie Brand?
No, It was Comics, COMIX, Comics in the Meatpacking District. They opened in 2007, and they were open for
Steve Hofstetter.
5 years.
Steve Hofstetter.
No, it wasn't. I did comics. It was
comics. The comics. I did that.
Yeah.
Gina Savage was booking it at a time.
Yeah, it had like 14 different bookers. But I consulted on that club, designed the club, et cetera, for 3 years. But
I was one of the comics that helped bury it when they
Me too.
me.
I got $5,000 for a weekend when I wasn't getting 3 anywhere else.
But one of the owners wanted to be a comic, and he was, doing bringer dates at Caroline's, and he thought he was funny, and it's just this weird. It's a weird vibe. It's a totally weird vibe.
I got one. Who's a comic that you book because it's your own taste? You go, if I didn't love this, it probably wouldn't be the best business decision.
There's so many of those. I'm looking over at my team because some of them are here.
Team.
Like,
who's someone?
What's your name?
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, you're the only guy I haven't met yet.
A gazillion years ago.
What's that?
I remember you from a gazillion years ago downtown.
Yeah, I have a picture.
Back when I hated him.
Let's not get off topic.
Yeah, wait, I'm curious.
I want to know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who would it be,
some
guys?
people that you go, I just love watching this person.
There's so many.
Like, did you love watching Attell?
Yeah. I mean, there's
someone who doesn't necessarily sell out when you could have booked someone who would have sold out, but you go, I just love this person.
Well, I mean, like Attell, when he did like Skanks for the Memories, he wasn't selling out back then.
Wait, he wasn't selling.
I don't think
when he
so.
recorded Skanks, was it?
I don't think so.
Skanks is post Insomniac.
No,
it's pre.
Insomniac.
It's pre.
Really? Yeah.
And he did another one. Right, he did another one like a year later after Skanks. At the club again. Maybe it was 2 years later that he ended up not putting out.
Oh, that's the one I probably like the most.
Oh, I think he has at least 3 different ones he wouldn't put out. I know he edited one for like 2 years and then decided not to put it out. And it's the best shit ever.
Oh.
But he was brilliant to watch way back then. And honestly, Chappelle, like years ago, 20 plus years ago, I worked for Montreal for a couple of summers, because I knew everybody. And he was like, Chappelle was like 22 maybe or something.
Yeah. In his 10th year of comedy.
He was like, and I didn't really know who he was 20 plus years ago. I hadn't seen him live. And it was just like, you might as well have dropped me in this theater with this guy in this pool of light. With a stool and a microphone and an ashtray and a lot of fucking smoke. But, that was, you didn't even have to like comedy, and you knew that there was something about that guy.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Is there anyone you take credit for breaking?
No. No.
Like internally at night, like, if it wasn't for me.
No.
Did you ever have a guy turn on you and won't work your club that you go, I booked you when you were shit.
No.
Now you won't work my club?
You know, I feel like I've always felt like my position about all of this is simply to create a platform to control all of the elements, like the bugs that we hear, like buzzing.
No, this is perfect ambient noise.
Beautiful.
By the way, let's describe we're in the back pool of, I don't know.
It's the backyard of my very gay home. I love it. I'm a gay man in a woman's body, and it's very Bellagio meets, I don't know.
I'd say I'm bald.
But I can still see skyscrapers right there, even though the sound of it's not cicadas, but bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
very
is just,
loud.
It's beautiful out
gurgling water from the pool.
And the homeless people stay in the park across the street.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So it's like
she laughs at him every morning, writes jokes about him.
I do not. I take him food, and Ted doesn't know.
Oh, I had problems with my homeless people.
Do you know where the ice is? Sorry, we bring our own bartender. The ice is right the first cabinet right there.
So did you ever see a comic that came on the road and you're like, it's a matter of time before he's dead?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How many times were you right? Because we have a death pool, and Joby that runs it.
And tell us who's up next.
Celebrity death pool.
Well, there's people, now. I don't want to talk about who they are.
Not
They're
local.
on my radar now.
Let's not go local.
What did you say? Did you say local? What are you saying? What is she mouthing? Does anyone know what she's mouthing?
Yes, she's mouthing.
There's people that you just know it's a matter of time.
Todd Glass? Did you say
Todd Glass?
She did. Glass. Why did he say that?
Todd just came to the club the other night.
Oh, how's Todd?
Yeah, he's looking bad.
Yeah, he's on. Yeah, his heart, I think.
What?
I'm just kidding. By the way, that man a pod call. No one called Todd. No, Todd was in town. There was a festival this weekend.
Yeah.
And so Todd was in town. He wanted to come by the club, but he came early. We wanted to go to dinner, and I never ended up catching up with him. Did you have Geraldo in here before he died? Yeah.
Yeah. He was one of my favorites to watch. Wow.
Never saw him live, but I listened to his disc and loved it.
Amazing.
Dude,
he was just so intelligent.
He's got his stories of partying were my favorite. We talked about this.
Did we?
Yeah, we did, about the time he got in the limo. Haven't tell you about this?
I don't remember anything. I don't remember this morning.
He one of my favorite things about comics is I'm not a fan of comics who have it all together.
Yeah, give me an example.
I'll give you an example.
You've known comics that have it all together?
Like John Mulaney. I love John Mulaney, but I'll tell you why I like John Mulaney. Not because of who he is today. Who he is today is like this organized, buttoned-down professor comic who writes his jokes on a tablet and then flips through the tablet before he goes on. So I'm not shitting on John Mulaney. I'm just saying that he just seems like he's got his shit together. The reason I like John Mulaney is in college he was addicted to coke and couldn't stop listening to Steely Dan. So I go, oh, you're cool. Like, I get you got your shit together. That's cool. But you got part of the broken toys in your head. I like that. But, I don't like the comics that, that's why I say I don't believe in good businessmen, good comics, because I don't enjoy people who I feel like one of my favorite things about Doug is when I found out Doug writes his material. I was like, wait, I remember watching you going, oh, this is all off the top of his head. And you were like, yeah, it might seem like that.
Oh, okay. I get that.
And then I was like, oh shit, this is well crafted.
Well, that's, I don't know if, Wendy, if you ever had to deal with Rick Shapiro.
Oh, I love Rick Shapiro.
But he's so good at that that I really thought at that point, a seasoned professional really thought it was all off the top of his head. And then you work with him twice and then you see him a third time and you go, when's the last time you really did suck a dick for heroin? And he goes, like 20 years ago. And you go,
yeah.
You should suck a more recent dick if you're going to keep putting that into a bit like it's off the top. Like, I just thought of this because, it happened this morning.
I heard him on Opie and Anthony one time. Have you ever had Rick Shapiro in here?
No.
I heard him on Opie and Anthony one time.
No, I don't think so.
He was talking about sucking dick for heroin. And he was like, and he just was. It was so conversational in a room of guys that are not cool with dudes sucking dicks, and he was except for save a few, but he was like
the quiet ones.
He was like. He's like, they're like, did you do it? He was like, I was so bad. Halfway, I was doing it like the game Operation. I was just,
trying not to touch the sides.
And halfway through, the guy's like, you're worse than my wife. I'll just do you. So I let him suck my dick. I was like, oh my God, if I had that life experience. I mean, I guess I could get it.
This guy is crazy like James Inman, who will be here in a little while, probably after the podcast is over. He's crazy like that, but crazy talented too. But also a schemy kind of guy.
Yeah.
And everyone was telling he's a New York guy, and I rarely go to New York. I hate New York, but they always told me, oh, you'll love Rick Shapiro. And he was going to do a guest set at some small, ramshackle for a minute club I was doing, bar.
In New York?
Yeah, in New York. And they say he's stuck in traffic. He's not going to be here in time for the guest set. So I went up and I said, listen, this guy that I keep hearing about said he's not going to be here in time, but I'm going to start my set. And when he shows up, I'm going to put him up to do a guest set. And then I'll come back because I really want to see this guy. I heard so much about him. He went up and did an hour and 45-minute guest set.
Whoa.
In the middle of my set. And I was rolling. And they're like, should we give him the light? Should we give him the hook? Like, no. I was calling Bingo, my girlfriend, going, this guy's fucking crazy funny.
He's hilarious.
Why? He's not even on my radar. And
I don't think.
That's what happened. I called Dave Attell after that, and he goes, don't buy the Kool-Aid. It turned into multiple problems after that.
I used to book a club up in...
I love the way that just trickled off. It turned into multiple problems after that.
I was booking a club up in Anchorage. When I met Doug, was when I booked a club up in Anchorage, and I booked it throughout the years. I just stopped in 2013 when I started working for Doug full time.
I worked that club.
Yes, we had fun.
You booked me way before Wendy would book me.
Yeah. I take chances. So I remember one time, this was a while ago, we were in Bisbee, and I was looking to fill a week, and Doug said, book Rick Shapiro. And I said, well...
Like I said, multiple problems.
Doug says book
that was
him.
One.
We booked him, and he did the Tuesday night, and it was almost a fire hazard with a rush to the door. I mean, it was insane. I wasn't up there because I was with Doug on the road, and Duran, the general manager of the club, it was just we had 3 stages. This was just a fill in, just to get people in there until 10 o'clock, and then we got bands going all night. It's a crazy place. And he lets him go on Tuesday night, and then he goes, look, I'm going to pay you, and you can stay in the hotel room, but this isn't a good fit. But paid him for the full week. And said, if you want to leave now, you can leave now, or you can hang out. We didn't know they'd already kicked him out of the hotel for smoking. And I go, why did they kick him out? And Duran goes, well, he was smoking. And they go, you put him in a hotel? We've got shitty band houses that are probably better that he's used to. He's like, well, no, we put him in the thing. That's on you. So you got to pay the $250. Or whatever, and he goes, I'll leave. And they paid to fly him out of there. It was a graceful exit, but honestly, it was one of those things where it's not for everyone.
There's a few comics that are too much problem to book, where you go, I know you're going to kill on stage. Yeah. He did not in this case.
It wasn't his fault.
First of all,
it wasn't his fault.
In Anchorage, I am legendary for Chaille. When he booked it, I would say, you got to book this person. And I had the worst batting average in recommendation history. Martha Kelly, who's brilliant. From Baskets, Martha?
Right. Yep.
She opened for me in the rowdiest stand-up crowd.
Austin?
In Austin, like 700 people standing. Bikers up front in colors, and she destroyed, and she's late. That's one of her things. She's always late for the gig, and these people are going, Stanhope, like, I'm walking from my car right now. I couldn't find parking.
Rick Shapiro's like, he's like, imagine if what's the girl's name? Shit. By the way, this is my favorite part of a podcast, is when you're listening to it, and someone goes, what's the girl's name who does the voices? Maria Bamford.
Yeah.
I was going to say Bamford, but when you said that, Chaille we've Bertcast binged on this tour and over and over, just at least 17 hours of Bertcast. And I was going to say, Chaille is your co-host every time we listen, because he's answering those questions. Chaille's yelling at the radio.
Maria Bamford. If Maria Bamford did not have friends and family, that's Rick Shapiro.
Yeah, if she took a bent towards the homeless.
Rick is I've run into him a couple times. Every time I run into him, we're like Eskimo brothers, because we share a certain person.
Is that like Irish twins?
No, Eskimo brothers is when you fuck the same person. Eskimo cousins, right? So when you both fuck the same person. But in comedy, Eskimo brothers is when the same person stole a joke
then
from
me
you.
and Andy are inbred, because we've been Eskimo cousins a lot of
They're
times.
Siamese twins that have been separated.
Oh, okay. That's a joke I've never been able to work into a bit. Twins are always so cute. You ever notice that? Unless they're conjoined, huh?
Yeah.
I've never been able to work that into a bit. By the way, what was the water fountain bit I told you guys about segregation? A long time ago, everyone's like, you got to tell it in your act. And I just still can't find a way to get it in my act.
What?
Yeah,
remember?
Tell us the joke. I do remember, but I don't remember.
I don't remember how I said it on the podcast, to be honest with you. I just came up with it on stage. You know who I feel bad for at the end of segregation? The guy who made water fountains.
Oh, yeah.
He was selling them 2 at a time, and they just cut his business in half.
Yeah, that's a
Bubblers, yeah.
What kind of comedy do you like, Wendy?
I like it all. I like it all.
What did you think about my set? Let's dissect my set.
You just did a week here, right?
I just did.
He did 3 nights, 3 off nights, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday that he sold out. 2
Sold
nights.
them out, whatever.
2 shows a night.
Sold them out, whatever.
Nice.
I don't know how you do 2 shows a night. That's
Fucking dead
impossible. When I hear you talk
Can
about
I tell
that.
you, I really think if Doug can do this, I can do this. I never got the shakes before until the last trip to Bisbee.
I was saving this story for you, but go ahead. I've heard you tell this story.
The last trip to Bisbee broke me.
This trip, it was so bad. I almost put us all in the drink going across the Mississippi.
That means dead. We weren't going to go off into the
was the
soft
bridge.
shoulder.
Yeah.
We were going to go off
The
a
bridge
bridge
crossing the
80 feet
Mississippi,
down.
and I get vertigo a little bit, but the alcohol nerves now, and we're doing a 12-hour drive from Columbus to Kansas City. Oh, yeah, now it's fine.
Now I'm perfect.
And
Right.
I just done about 350 miles.
Yeah, and I'd take over, and I'd taken Adderall and drank 2 cups of coffee. I won't even drink caffeinated coffee
Look at
now.
Wendy's
because my
face.
alcohol nerves are so bad.
It was slow release.
And then I get vertigo. If I get a little bit nervous when I'm sober, I'm a lot nervous.
Oh, dude, I can't fuck with coffee right now.
And Doug doesn't drink coffee anymore.
So I took a time-release Adderall to drive 12 hours, go across the Mississippi. I'm on a bridge, even though it's a short bridge.
Yeah.
And I started shaking so badly. I went into a panic attack where I don't know that I can control the car. It's that bad. And then it's endless. Like this bridge, it's not stopping.
The one with
And
the
I'm
grate. So like even if you look down,
Chaille,
it's not cement.
Take the wheel. I had to make Chaille take the wheel
I
and
have
hope my foot
earphones in.
could stay.
I have my headphones in because I'm trying to edit a podcast to get it out,
Yeah.
and I'm like just sitting there, and I catch his hand moving so rapidly that I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I pull the thing out, and he goes, grab the wheel. I pull the headphone thing out, and I'm like, what do you fuck? And he goes, grab the wheel, and I'm like, I'm holding it, going, what the fuck is going on? And
Panic
he's
attack!
like,
Panic attack!
yeah, and
Should have taken Xanax. They should have gone the other way.
I should have gone the other way. I've been there so many mornings where I go, I should have just taken a Xanax when I woke up and been done with it. Gone right back to bed. But that night in the rape trailer was...
Hold on.
In the what?
Explain that.
Rape trailer.
Some of the audience wants to know what the...
We have a destitute version of this.
So one of the things my wife loves, and she says this all the time. It's the reason I'm here tonight. By the way, I got to talk to you about this.
We'll have to
so much
gossip off
shit.
the air, but don't
So,
tease people and go, I want to tell you.
So, Leanne wants you to tell the girls there's no Santa.
Oh my God! Only if we videotape it.
Yeah.
Only if we video.
I'll fly to LA for that.
Oh my
because
God!
Georgia and Ida still believe in Santa, and
she's
and Leanne's
26 now, I think.
and Leanne's like, we got to tell them. Like, Georgia's 13, and then I said, I don't want to see the look in their eyes. It's going to break my heart. She goes, well, maybe we'll have one of our friends like tell them. And I said,
God,
I don't who. And then she goes, we should just have Doug fly out and just sit him down in their room like the wolf,
Yeah.
light a cigarette and go, you're going to find out a lot of shit you're not going to want to hear. We're going to start with the Tooth Fairy. They believe in the Tooth Fairy. Oh, they believe in the Tooth. Georgia wrote a letter to the Tooth Fairy the other day going like, hey, I listen.
In calligraphy.
Yeah. And so,
full grown-up teeth believe in the Tooth Fairy.
Legs crossed.
Wait. Can I tell this story, Chad? Oh, shit. We're still recording?
Sorry, Chad.
I remember Chad. So we were in Bisbee, and I remember talking to Chad, and his kids were off to the side. By the way, I'll edit this out. I won't edit this out because I don't edit things, but let me know if you really don't want me to say this, and I'll edit it out, but I don't want to. But, we were sitting in
Chad
the
never
fun
wants
house.
anything edited.
We were sitting in the fun house, and I go, Chad, I can't believe you let your kids smoke. And his kids are right next to him smoking cigarettes, and he goes, yeah? And then he leans down and does a line of coke, and I go, never mind. I can't believe I brought that up.
What I actually said was, did you not see me do a bump with my kids earlier? My kids are grown.
Hysterically. How do our levels look? Good? But what I was going to say was that Doug's got a rape trailer that is actually extremely comfortable. It's a trailer.
It's a fake vintage trailer, like a old. It's a Shasta, like a teardrop shape, small, and we put it up there just for
the confused looks are not going away. He has a rape trailer, and still nobody's explained what
Well, they called it a rape trailer. We just had it up there.
And so I spent the night. I went out. My wife says to me at times, because I don't I have friends, but I don't have any friends really. Like it seems like I have a hard time. I don't trust people, and I feel like I bother people. But there's like a handful of people I really know that I'm not bothering that I like to spend. Ari Shafir's one of them. My wife always says. Ari called my wife and said, "Hey, Bert should come to Calgary with me. I'm going to Stampede. He needs some time around friends." Because I'll just work. And so Leanne was like, you should go to Calgary with Ari. One time I was like, hey, I'm on the road. I was thinking about swinging by Bisbee. And she's like, you should go to Bisbee and spend the weekend with Doug and relax. Have fun. Like be able to be around someone, It's like I don't have any hobbies either. And so,
hang on, this reminds me, we have to get into that 90-day thing, but Chaille will write it down, but go.
So, I don't know where I was. I don't know how I got there, though. Oh, Doug says, hey, let's do a live podcast. I've been on the road hard, and Leanne's like, you know what? You're just doing one-nighters in Vegas and whatnot. Just get on a plane, go to Vegas, and spend the weekend with Doug. Like, take an extra day. Yeah, go to Tucson.
Bisbee.
And go to Bisbee and spend like an extra day with Doug. And I was like, really? She goes, do the show, but then spend Sunday with him and then come home Monday. Like, relax. So I was like, great. I partied really hard the whole week, and then I got to Bisbee, and we partied really hard. And then we woke up the next morning, and I literally pillow-to-mouth champagne. Like, it was... I got into the fun house, and they were like, champagne? And I was like, okay. So I started drinking champagne. We went out in the pool. We played... That's where the Chaille Challenge came in.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Oh, shit. I forgot all about that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I saw it the other day that people were doing it. It was... Still doing it. And we all played dead in the pool. And
we have an above-ground pool, Wendy. But
it was fun as shit.
Chaille, it's got a deck. So Chaille did a naked cannonball, and Chad Shank took a perfect picture of him midair. Pull that up, show her. And then on the Twitter, they do the Chaille Challenge where they Photoshop his naked cannonball going into every different thing or coming out of every orifice.
Yeah. Adorable.
It was great.
Adorable,
It was
Chaille.
fun as shit. Everything was great until the sun set. And then the vampires came out, and I went to bed too early was my mistake. And then I woke up before the sun was up in Bisbee, just shaking, and Doug was like, you need a smoothie? In my head, I was like, can we find a clean bottle of whiskey? Because all the bottles of whiskey were at the very last sip of them, and I was like, I could use a cocktail. And so we had a bottle of whiskey, and did a silent drive from Bisbee to Tucson. I don't think we spoke at all. Me, Doug, and Brian Hennigan.
That's the original.
And then I got to the airport.
Wait, who drove?
You drove the whole way.
Drove?
You drove the whole way.
Oh, shit.
And then got to the airport, go in, I take a shit, I come out to the bar, and they're like, you don't look good. And I go, I just shit blood. And Doug starts laughing hysterically, and he goes, or was it beets that I put in the smoothie? And I was like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. I was like, I totally thought I shit blood.
I remember that.
Yeah, but I don't know where this was going.
Oh, shakes, the booze shakes.
Oh, the booze shakes.
It was so bad that I called Dr. Drew, and you're the one who told me you actually talked to Dr. Drew about shit.
Oh, all the time I talk to him about it. I talk to go ahead, and then I'll parallel into what
I emailed him, but I've talked to him. I had some other issues
Can I get a cocktail,
that weren't
please?
about me that I actually reached out because you told me you talked to him.
Yeah, I always call him. I ruptured a testicle.
He has been such an asset and an ally,
Dude,
and
he's the best.
But I have a book coming out that I write about how I shit on him, and he brought me on his podcast because of it, and it's unrelated. But I went back and listened to the bit that I did about him.
Yeah.
That's like 3 specials ago, and it's probably the most vicious personal attack I've ever made on anyone.
Oh, wait.
I would agree with that.
When I listened to it, like, oh shit! Like this guy I've been talking to about other problems, and I knew I shit on him, but I didn't know how. Like I imagined his death and like the most brutal ways and how he should be
Look
killed.
at Wendy just shaking her head.
Do you think maybe he hasn't listened to it either?
Hey, when this started, you looked at when I was talking about having the shakes that bad. You looked at Wendy, and Wendy has a story.
No.
What's your story, Wendy?
I don't have any story, but I love Dr. Drew. I love him. You can't
You don't
imagine
drink booze
him.
at all, Wendy?
Yeah, I do. Like, yeah, but when I do, it's like a half a bottle of tequila.
You
but
had
it's not.
a look of recognition where you know this story about someone else when someone started talking about the is that
Well,
again?
yeah, it's the yeah.
Wait. I want to be a part of this.
No.
Wait, just can you just tell me what you're saying? Okay.
I'll tell you later when we're not recording.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't care about that.
All right, now we're going to create a fake break during that SwapCast and throw in our own things.
That's it. That's my new watch. It'll be here in 2 days.
All right.
It's called the Abyss.
Abyss Watch by Movement.
MVMT.com.
MVMT. A watch. This is the only watch I would have as a sponsor because I am a minimalist. Time to me is when to get the fuck off stage. I don't want flashy. Anyone who wears a Rolex is a douchebag. They have a fake personality. They have an empty soul that they fill with name brands. I like simple. I like white on black.
Doug, just say it. You like a big face for your weak eyes.
Yeah, no, I like simple. I don't like flashy.
Absolutely. You got a leather band and a big plain white face with a silver, whatever they call them, the metal around it. The thing that
wore
holds
the
it.
same watch for most of my life. Looked like this. Only this, it's got quality. I don't have to buy a new one every 8 months because it's a piece of shit. This is nice. It's got a white face, black band.
Classic.
There's no flash. If someone's going to rob me, they're going to steal my tie clip before my watch.
What's interesting is Movement watches start at just $95, Doug.
If you're trying to get laid with your watch, this ain't going to block you. All right? This is a good-looking watch, but it's not flashy. It's not bling, right?
It's utilitarian. And
you don't, you don't have to
substantial.
keep the fucking tag on it so you know it's not a knockoff.
Do they do that?
Yeah, but that's why the fucking they wear the
the hats, the flat brim hat. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I don't think that's the market, but
well, this is if that's my market, stop listening.
3 things, Doug: classic design, quality construction, and styled minimalism.
Exactly, minimalism. We're kind of all about that.
Hey, they've sold over 1 million watches in over 160 countries. That's Movement, MVMT.com.
Oh, and the great thing about a Movement watch is if you leave it behind in a hotel room somewhere in Grand Rapids, housekeeping will ship it back to you for $7 if they find it.
Is that what it was? $7?
$7.06 or something.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think that has anything to do with movement, but that has something to do with you and Tracy had a giant, big, foot-stomping beef about whose fault it was that you left your goddamn watch in a hotel. But guess what? It got back to us.
The issue was we had the same watch. She likes to wear men's watches, and it's a larger face, right? I mean,
yeah.
And I think
as my eyes get more and more poorly functioning,
they know how to market to you,
right?
So I think she saw it on the bureau in between the beds, and we left thinking she probably thought it was mine. I knew it was hers because mine was on my wrist, and we left, and so that it was enough that we would call back and it would get shipped to us for $7.50. Movement has nothing to do with shipping.
Yeah,
by the way,
shitty watches I used to get that all looked the same. I would have just gone to fucking Target and gotten another one for $11 and had to buy a new one 6 months later because it sucked.
If you go buy a Movement watch, you get 15% off with free shipping and free returns by going to mvmt.com/Stanhope.
And I'm going to have to tell you this. The date is always wrong if you don't care to figure out how to fix the date. Because I don't give a shit what the date is.
I know.
So my date is always wrong.
I can fix that for you.
No, I used that as an excuse. Oh, weren't we going to have lunch on the 18th? I'm sorry. I never figured out how to fix the date on my Movement watch.
Wait, it's really the 24th? I'm really late.
I'm so late.
But I'm on time. Movement watches.
Movement watch. Wear a Movement watch and dress like the real stars. Go to Movement, MVMT.com/Stanhope and join the movement. Who's the last person we gave pro flowers to?
That would be Evil E. We sent it to Safeway.
Oh, yes.
But we've been gone the whole time, so we don't even know.
We've been gone for so long. Yeah. How long has this bullshit been going on? Pro flowers, it keeps you in touch. You know that person that you started a road trip, you go, we'll just bust this month out, and then you come home and you don't remember any one of your friends.
It's not even a month. It's only 21 days. This will be easy.
That's not. Well, then you add 3 days coming in and out. You don't remember any one of your friends. What you do is you just jot down addresses. And you go, just tell them I love them. Here and again with proflowers.com. Send someone pro flowers. Send someone you don't know. We just read The Police Beat. That'll be in an upcoming episode of the Doug Stanhope podcast when Chad Shank is here. Yeah, and I saw there's a new cop that just got hired.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the Bisbee Observer. They're desperate and thirsty for stories. So
still have a sense of humor.
New cop gets hired.
Yeah.
He gets a profile. And I thought, why not send pro flowers to the new cop? And then I thought, that might seem a little bit.
We could say it's from the Correctional Institute.
Yeah, we could do that. Pro flowers would do that.
Actually, Doug, you can actually pick any time in the future to send the flowers. If you remember something, like me, I forget things at the moment, but I remember things way in advance, and then I forget. That's why I have a notebook to write things down. Here, Pro Flowers does it for you.
Day before Super Bowl.
Yes.
Send the new cop
a dozen roses, say thanks for stopping by eventually.
Look for me. I'll be the one asking you to not shut us down before 10 p.m.
Yeah, we're not doing football this season.
That's what we would have done in the years past. So ProFlowers has a really good thing like that. You can actually keep dates, and they'll remind you, a little tickler file, if you will, to remind you when someone's birthday is, or an anniversary, or Super Bowl, or whatever. And that's all on proflowers.com.
I always had that idea to, and I'm sure a million people have done it, was to make greeting cards for bad events, bad choices. Hey, sorry about your abortion, but you can do that. Someone has an abortion, send them ProFlowers. Someone gets a DUI, send them ProFlowers to the jailhouse. If they get rescinded or no way, sorry, they get sent back. Yeah, but then you have a beef.
Well, give it a shot.
Yeah,
it's going to brighten someone's day.
Try it.
And you can customize your note that goes to the person. So it's all right there. On the website, you just go to proflowers.com, and don't forget to use promo code Stanhope. Hey, ProFlowers bouquets are guaranteed to stay fresh for at least 7 days or your money back, and you control the delivery date. Like I said before, you can do it way in advance or just a couple days in advance.
And if you do send ProFlowers in a very inappropriate manner to the guy that's now banging your wife and go, hey, better you than me,
Yeah.
that kind of thing, please tell us about it so we can have really honest, fantastic reads for ProFlowers. ProFlowers.
Hey, ProFlowers wants to help you surprise someone for no reason at all, while also surprising you with a special deal for Doug's listeners.
Hey, you know what? Get 20% off any bouquet of $29 or more right now by using the promo code Stanhope. Proflowers.com/Stanhope. You get it. But do it to somebody weird so we can promote this and make it a natural read that is funny. People are suckers for flowers. It never ends.
It just happened, Doug. You said, who did we send flowers to last? And I said, Evilly, and you lit up. It's fun. You should do it.
To get 20% off any bouquet of $29 or more, go to proflowers.com and use my code Stanhope, my secret code Stanhope. That's also my email password. I shouldn't have said that out loud. Use Stanhope at checkout. That's proflowers.com and code Stanhope. Don't wait to make someone's day. Click.
Did you just hang up?
No, I just said click.
I like biscuits and mustard. I also like the Doug Stanhope podcast.
Dates coming up. Chaille, I don't know the dates coming up. There's dates coming up. They're on my website. Texas through Louisiana, Alabama, Florida, all the swamp states, all the hurricane states, all the floodwater pants states. And what else am I pushing? That's it? Yeah. All right. And now we're back to the SwapCast. See how quick that was? Brevity is key.
So today, I text Runner's World did an article on me.
On you?
Thanks, Wendy.
I'm sorry, do you
and
run?
I'm on the cover of High Times magazine.
I apologize.
This month, I don't smoke weed.
I moved the mic away from me before I said, what?
And I'm on the cover of High Times, and you're in Runner's World. He's in Runner's World, and I'm on the cover of High Times. I don't smoke, and he don't run.
And so,
you do run.
I do. I run. I get on the treadmill. I don't like. I'm not that big of a. I just get on the treadmill. I try to do like.
That's walking.
Yeah, I walk a lot, but I run at times. And,
I walk really fast.
And so, I sent an because I talk about Rogan, Tom, and Ari in this article. So I sent them a link, and if you're listening to this right now, you've already heard the episode. So you already know what's going on. I don't know what's going on yet because this is taped Thursday, and I'm going to release it next week. But I'm doing Rogan Monday, to talk about the bet. And then I said, hey, guys, who wants to challenge me in a marathon? And then Ari's like, I go, who wants to make a bet? And Ari said, I'll make a bet you'll be dead before 57. And I was like, ugh. And then Rogan's
you can do that at Doug Stanhope Celebrity Death Pool. Where's Jovi? I'm sorry, I'm plugging
and then Rogan was like,
No, I don't need him.
Rogan was like, this is fake news. You're not in shape. And then I was like, I'm in great shape. And then Rogan's like, I'll make a bet you can't drink for 90 days.
All right, for my listeners, if you don't listen to the Bert Kreischer podcast, him and Tom Segura have a running thing, who's fat, and they try to fat shame each other into shape. And then they were talking about doing some kind of decathlon or...
We did a bet at one point. We did a bet of who could lose the most weight. Tom won, I lost, and I lost my beard in the bet. And then Joe's like, let's do another bet. Let's do another bet. But we couldn't find anything that was really authentic, you know? Like, a bet should be authentic. It shouldn't be, like, forced because then no one really has stakes in it. So Joe was like, I bet you can't drink for 90 days. I was like, I can do that easy as fuck. And he was like, no, you can't.
What's the wager?
That is what we're figuring out Monday.
Right. I did this once with Henry Phillips. We're both hard smokers. And I bet him, all right, we're going to do 30 days. Whoever loses, if you smoke before 30 days is up, the first one to smoke owes the other guy $500, which back then was a week's pay as a featurette. Yeah. And he smoked, and he really needed the money.
Yeah.
And so I waited till 2 minutes before midnight of 30 days because we were working Minneapolis together, and I just lit up a cigarette. I go, all right, we're even, because I couldn't take his money.
I've already thought of that. Because, first of all, I don't, like, I'm being dead serious when I say this. I don't want to quit drinking in that I love booze. I love what booze does to my head. I love being buzzed. I love it. I fucking love it. Now, granted, I probably drink too much, and I definitely think I quit drinking for 90 days. It's not a problem, but there are these parts of your brain where you go, oh, wait, I can't do that. I'm doing the Impractical Jokers cruise.
That's why when you told me about the 90-day thing, I said save it for the podcast, because when I don't want to quit drinking. You were talking about this on your podcast a few weeks ago about that guy that tried to sober up at 39, the actor from some vampire show, black guy that died. He was alcoholic, and
sweet. That's what Joe texted me. Is he was like, hey man. Like, you should, but by the way, hold on. I'm not that bad. I can stop drinking. I'm not going to have a stroke. And like that's what he was like. You should check out Amy Winehouse. When she stopped drinking, she died. And I was like, how much do you guys think I drink? I
know how much I drink
twice today, but and definitely I have a program. Like when I don't drink, I definitely, like when we work our way to unassisted sleeps in our house. So, like, unassisted sleeps when you go to bed without drugs or alcohol. And so, and we have a
It happens
night,
after 3 days.
A sleeping pill, and then, like a Xanax for the first night, sleeping pill the next night.
Over the counter?
No.
Well, when you say sleeping pill, I do a Xanax, I'll do a OTC, Somonex, completely underrated. Somonex, just over-the-counter shit. Yeah, that does a Xanax job if you're only using it to sleep.
Really?
Andy and I have been doing. Yeah.
The
Somonex is a double dose of Benadryl.
Is it really?
I looked it up. It's just a 2 times Benadryl.
But yeah, we got to find out what the wagers are, what the stakes are.
Well, if death is the stake.
First of all, like, I can't imagine, like, I've quit drinking before.
Do you know how much you drink in a night?
Yeah.
I say I wouldn't have no idea. I guess between 12 and 20 drinks.
I know for a fact that I think that
unless Tracy's
drinks,
pouring them, then it's more.
I think that 6 drinks is nothing. By the way, this is not pod calling back to me. Like, I don't need this coming back to me and being like, God, Bert, I'm being honest right now. But like if I did a show, if I did last night, and I'll have a drink first show, and I won't even finish it. I never drink on stage. That's the other part. Is like,
we heard you talking about this, and I go, it's 6 drinks. And then I'm good to go on stage.
Oh, no. I don't even, that's the elusive part of my career is everyone thinks I'm this big boozer comic. But when I perform, I am stone fucking sober. I bring Mackenzie, you can attest. Mackenzie, come over here and will you just tell him how I drink? Because no one's ever going to believe me because they think I'm lying. Here, this is Mackenzie. She works over at Comedy Works. She's been with me all week. And the mic is very short, so.
I mean, you had maybe 3 cocktails through 2 shows. Maybe 3.
Yeah.
And that's generous.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there we go. True. I get a cocktail for the first show. And I definitely, by the way, both Monday and Tuesday, I drank that cocktail in the first show because I was losing my mind and my voice was shit. And then I'll have a drink on the next show, and then I'll have drinks throughout the night. But for me to have 6 drinks, I don't count that as drinking. Like I go, like if I have 6 drinks, I go, that was a light night. I'm going to bed. I'm being healthy, which is probably super unhealthy. But
you go to doctors.
I go to the doctor every year. And by the way, I always time it on times when I'm not drinking, which is a cheat. Who was I with? Who was I fucking with? Oh, this will make the story so much better.
Wait, you go to doctors with someone else?
Oh, it's with Bill Burr.
Oh.
And I go, we're at the store one night, and he goes, hey, like Bill's not a big boozer, but oddly enough, when I'm around him, he likes to have a cocktail. I don't know why. But like he's like.
Sometimes I think he's lying. Sometimes when I would listen to Bill Burr say, yeah, I get a little buzzed. I have a few Budweisers. You go, yeah, how many's a few?
He puts
I like
back.
to have a few drinks.
Have you ever gotten drunk with Bill?
No, I tried to one night.
I'm going to plan, when I get this 90 days up, I'm going to plan the perfect drinking night where we all go do Rogan's podcast. It's me, you, Burr. Like, we'll do like a 6-person podcast, but we all get fucking hammered. So
I think we did that. Yeah, I think we did that at the end of the world party, but I don't remember.
It's the best podcast I've ever been a part of.
We got to redo it somehow.
So Bill says to me, he goes, I don't know what I was telling about in this story. So we're about to go drink, and he's like, hey, let's go get a little nip, something. And I go, I can't. I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I want to be healthy for my doctor's appointment. And he looks at me and goes, hey, that's not how it fucking works. You go in hot to your doctor. You don't go to your doctor all fucking warmed up.
It's not like eating Oreos before you go to the dentist.
Is that Stephen Wright?
No, I remember it was some kid we had to take to the dentist when we were some default babysitters for some teenage pregnancy kid when we tried to get him to eat Oreos before we had to take him to the dentist. We were like 15-year-old babysitters for some chick.
If I did 90 days without drinking, I'd be skinny as fuck, for one.
Rogan used to tell me that in the Man Show days when I was skinny as fuck, except for the same bloat. I still have the skinny chest, but the belly's just getting bigger. You know, if you didn't drink, you know, the calories in that, and you'd be in good shape.
I think Rogan had. I'm being serious when I say this, and I realize I'll probably have a conversation with him about this already. But I think he has a real distaste for booze. Like he does drink, but he doesn't. I don't think he likes the way I drink. Genuinely.
Yeah, and I have a distaste for people who don't drink well. Every time I've seen him in the last few years, I remember him. No, I drink now, and he's drinking Jack. I think.
Yeah. I've had so many drinks with that guy, and it's not who he is. He's not like a teetotaler at all. And by the way, on the bet, I can smoke weed.
Let's get back to that. Sorry.
So do you still think you'll lose weight?
Can I tell you? I just wish weed did to me what alcohol does. Because I mean, I like weed, but only when I've been drinking. Like, I don't like alcohol shuts my brain off, and I love that.
Yeah.
Weed turns my brain on, and I'm like, man, I don't know if we're friends. Like,
it turns my brain on to everybody hates me and wishes I wasn't here.
Yeah.
Which is a common refrain.
Joe says that's your ego self-destructing itself. You need to do that so that you lose your ego. And I was like, I don't know.
Wait, that's not just true?
Mushrooms. That's so hard for me to do.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't tripped in so long. Yeah, I don't want to do them. It's such a process. I've said a million. It's the exercise of narcotics where you got to work out. Like, it's going to take a while. You're going to fucking deal with shit. And the opposite of boozing, where you go, let's have some drinks. And in the morning you go, I'm never going to drink again. Mushrooms, you start out, I don't know, I don't want to do this at all. Oh, shit. And then you wake up going, I got to do that more often. It's exercise.
Yeah, I can do drugs during this thing, but I can't drink booze.
Wait, what drugs?
I can do anything.
Any drugs.
Well, you haven't made the rules yet.
Yeah, they haven't made the rules yet, but I'm sure I can do coke.
I thought you didn't do coke.
I like coke. I just don't.
I love occasional coke medicinally. For this podcast, I would do a bump, and I wouldn't want any more.
I'd do a bump.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want any more. I wouldn't be.
My problem is tomorrow I would regret it so fucking much.
Yeah.
I'd be dead. I'd be dead inside the
I'd be
airport.
asking Wende Curtis, watch me, Jack. Watch me, Jack. He's asleep. Watch me, Jack.
He's asleep. Watch me, Jack.
Good Lord.
You guys have a whole different relationship with drugs than I did.
I'm
When
just
do you
talking
do
about
drugs,
the
huh?
Awkward things.
I
Did you
don't.
ever do drugs?
No.
How long's the Comedy Works been open?
36 years.
36 years?
36 years in a couple weeks.
All right.
Yeah.
What's the comedian that has the most tenure that's you booked that still works there
good
now?
Question, Doug. Hey, can I light a cigar? Will that kill you, Wendy?
No, that's fine. I don't know.
That's
There's
all right.
a
She
lot.
just won't pay the opener tomorrow so she can steam clean the umbrella.
Wendy.
Why
did you hate Doug? Don't you love his brilliance?
I have never steam cleaned
You never
the
paid an
umbrella.
opener?
You never paid an opener?
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, this is like a little bit of my dream come true. I've said this, by the way. I was listening to your podcast today, and I listened to podcasts to relax, and they put me to sleep. Oddly enough, because I feel like my friends were in the other room, and so mine came on after, and I heard me talking about you, and I did not realize how much I bring you up on the podcast. I don't realize that, but like I said something that I really was embarrassed about because I was like, oh, Doug's heard this, but I have to note it right now. So like, I will say this. I am genuinely friends with Doug. I talk to him. I text him.
You are my newest friend. Like someone I feel like this is actual friendship.
But I am a genuine fan of his before I was a friend of his. I do not know where the story's going.
Neither do I.
Anyway, so I heard him on the podcast, and I said, like, don't ever think that I'm with him. I'm not stealing little private fan moments and that was one of them. When you were like, I can't pay an opener so I can steam clean this umbrella. Like, those are great. Like, when you're like, I always say this, because like, Attell came to my house to do a podcast. Like, dude, the chickens were aggressive. And one of my favorite Attell lines ever is when he's like, I can't believe these women are drinking whiskey with Diet Coke. Diet Coke? The line goes, I'm looking for the kind of woman that goes outside and starts yelling the N-word at an eclipse. Like, I just, like, those things, that podcast, by the way, the video's up, but if you see me and Segura, because Segura is, and by the way, don't pod call Tom on this, but like Segura is a legit, like to the point where he was doing Attell's pacing when he was young. Like he was doing his pacing and his timing. We loved him that much.
It's infectious.
Yeah. And when Segura says something and Attell goes, Jesus, make eye contact if you're going to talk to me like that. Like, oh.
Andy and Andy left too, but Andy Andrist is here with me. He's on the road with me. But Andy would
Curiously
get shit
quiet.
where they go, oh, he's just trying to be Stanhope. I go, no, Andy and I have been friends for 20 years, and you, just like a Tough Crowd, all those guys kind of got the similar, fucking, you're chinless zero.
You're a zilch.
Yeah. And Andy and I'm stealing more from Andy than he's stealing from me. Just, he's naturally funnier.
But don't you think that's kind of common? I feel like there's whomever, like one of the hottest, the couple of the hottest comics are that younger comics do kind of take on their rhythm, their timing a little bit. And, you see a little bit of that.
Definitely happens. When I started, I was inspired by Dice Clay, and I tried to not sound like Dice Clay, and I sounded like Dice Clay. But when it's friends, now you have to deal with this.
Oh,
the comedy police.
I would love to pick up some of your fucking inflections. I would, dude. One of the things when I'm working on my new hour, one of the things I love about what you do, Doug, and I wish I had more of this. I have it in one part of my act right now. Is Burr has this a tad bit too. Is you guys, like when you talked about ISIS and you're like, I'm working this corner. Like it's such a great line that it's not, it's not funny in the sense that if you pulled it out and gave it to somebody, they wouldn't think it's funny, but putting context of that story, it's so great. And like, I have one in my act right now that I go, like, I've been really dissecting how comedy works and like what, no, not you, but
I'm coming out to see you, by the way, before you film your special, because you keep saying, "Hey, I need feedback." I was gonna come to Singapore, but it didn't work out.
I think we're too far gone, Doug.
No,
there's no fixing it now. So if you don't like it, I'm just gonna do.
Well, you're not taping it till February.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna have to be sober for fucking 90 days.
If you need somebody to bring to Singapore, he needs him to bring 3 people to Singapore. So if you're gonna go there, we'll go along.
I did 5 months sober off of everything after my second Dewey charge.
Court appointed.
But but I did do the time, and it sucked. But I plugged away at it. Kept trying.
Weren't you like online, like finding other things? You like choke down some like spirulina or something?
Kratom. Yeah. I mean, I needed
kratom. I heard kratom's great.
Yeah, you learn what you can and can't do drug wise. Like I could do coke on Monday and then still get through, but piss test was a random thing, so you had to have no weed, which was a tough one. Anyway, I'm going to go back and get a drink.
Wait, we never get the answer.
Yeah, and Wendy, what was the answer? What was the question?
What was the question?
The question was the comic that still works for you for the longest amount of time.
I don't know. That's a long. I don't know. That was a lot.
Who was the guy that did time in Chattanooga for trying to buy crack? Rick Kearns.
Yeah.
Is he still around? Is Matt Woods still around?
Nope, no Matt Woods. But yeah, Kearns is around. And
who's the guy that you still book? The Argus Hamilton of the comedy works. How's that for an analogy?
You know what? The ones that I hear from other comics are the Roys. John Roy and Chuck Roy.
No, I don't know who John Roy is. And Chuck Roy, no, doesn't work for us. But one of the oldest ones that I can think of might be George Lopez, honestly. He still works my club.
And he started in the kitchens?
No. That's not funny, Bert.
Speaking of the pool, is it okay to pee in the pool if you're not in it?
No, you can't pee in the pool.
What are those sound masking waterfalls for?
By the way, we went to my buddy Eric Gruzin's house. And then someone said something about peeing in the pool, and Isla goes, I always pee in your pool. And Georgia goes, I actually wait to pee in your pool. And he was like, what? He got so upset. Wait, who have you broken? Like, what's a comic that you feel responsible for that you go, you know what?
I brought this up. She won't take it.
It's just that I don't feel like it's.
Why are you humble?
Because I don't think that's not my thing in this business. My thing is to present, to create.
I worked your club one time, and then I made it.
Exactly. Fucking taking responsibility for Stanhope. I feel like.
By the way, there's an email about my weekend this week to all my agents and managers. So yeah, there's like, yeah, but there was like, you have been in this business probably successfully longer than anybody.
Maybe, but I just don't
Longer
think
than last time.
I just don't think it's that big of a deal.
Hang on, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Wendy. We have a caller. Caller, you're on the air with Bert Kreischer and Doug Stanhope on the Doug Stanhope Bert Kreischer SwapCast.
What am I supposed to say now? I'm in fat camp. Come on.
No, you're actually on a podcast. Don't go into it. All right, I was just telling you. Yeah, you kind of broke ranks there. So yeah, all right, this is gonna get aired. So all right, I'll call you. I'll call you. I'll text you when we're done. All right, love you. Bye.
So Wendy, what? How much of my act did you see last night?
I think probably I was there the last 30 minutes, but that included, when you brought me on stage and whatever, I think.
Wait, staff raffle.
Oh, yeah, I saw that on a Periscope last night.
Yeah?
Yeah, I saw you guys. That was fun.
I caught 2 names, not just one. I caught 2. But I've never thought it was my deal to, first of all, to judge. Like young comics, I'm never going to squash somebody and go, you're not funny, you're not. Because I don't know. I don't know what because I've seen them turn around. I've seen people that you've watched for 2 or 3 years.
Comedians could never run a good comedy club.
Yeah. And suddenly it turns for them. And suddenly what the hell happened? Because I think in my head that new talent kid's this is ridiculous. He'll never make it. But then he turns. And so I would never, ever
if I started the
stuff.
Bisbee Comedy Club and I had it's a, what do you call it? Not an internship. What do you call it when you have a long stay in Vegas? A residency of Andy Kindler in Bisbee, Arizona.
Ooh.
Oh, no, you guys just don't understand comedy.
Oh.
Yeah, you'd fail miserably.
So wait. Let's do a game. Doug and I are going to say the name of a comic, and you just say one word.
Oh, God. We played that last night. I was so bad because I always have 3 or 5 words.
She can't be completely honest.
Okay, then I'll say
unless we get her really
I'll say a name, and
I'll be pretty honest.
You say a word, and she says
we have to do this. Every time Bert and I do SwapCasts, we do, the first time was your top 3 comics that you'd have on a multi-bill tour with you. Then we did top 3 comedian podcasts that were gets. I got you with Bill Cosby. You didn't even think of Bill Cosby.
That was a good one.
During the rape thing. And then the last one was comedian biographies, not autobiographies, biographies of, and I thought Attell, what's he like when he's not being Attell? So we have to have another one of those before the end of this.
Yeah, we got to have one of those.
Wow.
So 3 something where we
got to get my books
like
out.
kickball.
You got to get your books out?
Yeah, so I can see all of them. I need I need some notes. I need my cheat notes.
Like how much people earn?
No.
Wait, what are you saying?
I was gonna say top 3 comics that you want to have a podcast that don't, but I couldn't think of more than one.
I couldn't think of more. I wouldn't mind.
I had a 600-mile drive here. I'm still a little shaky from. I couldn't think of more than one because you know more comics than I do. You would know if they have a.
I could tell you podcasts I'd like to change.
Go ahead, bury it.
I would there's a lot of I want to change Maron's podcast.
Really?
To who?
I want him to bring back comics. I want him to bring back comics. I want comics to be able to go on a second and third time. I want you to go back and do Maron. I want Janine Garofalo to go back and do Maron.
I've done it twice. The second time he's kind of dismissive, but
but that was your promoting your book, right?
I think I have a lot in common with Maron that I think he hates me, and I think he thinks I hate him.
No,
but we know Wende Curtis hates both of us.
That's Doug's attitude when he sees Maron at the store.
Yeah.
They like pass each other in the hall like two animals that might attack each other, and they're just happy they get by each other.
That's so funny because I have such a different relationship with Marin than you do, or Joe does, or like any comic. Not saying that anyone has bad relationships with him, but so many guys that are of his age are like, yeah, I get the sweetest, softest guy. He just texted me today, and he was like, hey, I wrote a book. If you want, you talk about it on your podcast, or no, he didn't even say that. I said, I'll talk about it on my podcast. He was like, I want to send you a copy. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. I go, hey man, there's an open invite to do my podcast whenever. But like, I want Marin to bring back comics that he's already had on. That's my biggest problem with his podcast right now is that I want, and by the way, don't pod call him, but I want him to do a couple comics at a time. I want it to be like, he's such a great interviewer, but there's so much shit he hasn't tapped into on so many great comics that it was just an hour interview. I want more. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Since we've been binging on the Bert cast, you go, an hour is not long enough. We try to keep it to an hour, and now you're kind of queering me the same way Wende Curtis is queering me and opening up a comedy club. I should do it the way you do it.
I'll invest in that.
We're so off the map on this. Miss
Hey, Wendy,
Pat's
can you
book,
invest
Rabbit.
in? We want to invest in a comic, in a comedy club in Bisbee, Arizona. Well, we have a cave 80 miles away that you can live in.
Yeah. No, but this is not the scenario at all.
Oh, I'm buzzed.
But I'm getting drunk with you. I brought up 3 different subjects at once.
Other podcasts I would change. I don't know. Like,
I only listened to 3. That was not even. We're trying to find the top 3. I was going to ask you. And
can I tell you? I think yours should be daily.
There's
something about you that I don't have a problem checking with you daily. My favorite podcast run you've ever done when you did Tin Can Rehab. That, by the way,
and then that brings us back to 90 Days in the Hole.
Yeah,
with you.
I love.
We have
that was
7 subjects going now.
My favorite when you did Tin Can Rehab, I checked in every morning with you.
And this brings us back to the shakes.
Yeah.
And the 90-day bet. Bring it down to a 30-day bet, and we'll do it together. We'll SwapCast every day. You can't take...
Okay, so here's one of the things. They were like, how can we monitor you? I was like, ankle bracelets. I'm going to put on an ankle bracelet.
Listen, anyone who has a bet on this knows that we're not full of shit.
Yeah, I'll tell you if I welch. If I quit the bet, I'll tell you I quit. Wait, you'd go into this bet with me?
Yes, that's why when you said it, I said save it for the podcast because I fucking emailed Dr. Drew going, I have to taper down, but I don't want to fucking die like that guy did.
What did he say?
He gave me some advice. I don't remember. I was drunk when I emailed him.
By the way, I think I ran by my business paradigm of quitting drinking, which is, Xanax, half Xanax, sleeping pill. I think I just punched it up a tad bit. But and
how many Xanax do you take a week?
Half a milligram. Oh, never. I never take them. I'm scared of them. I'm scared of them because fucking no one's honest with how people die on Xanax. Like
it's in my book.
Yeah,
Geraldo which I should plug. Pre-order it. This is not fame. Geraldo
died of Xanax.
Oh, we said it at the same time. Jinx, we have to kiss.
Oh, come here.
All right.
Is that really what
Geraldo died from Xanax? Yeah.
I have a whole piece of my new book that I wish that they would. When someone dies of prescription drugs, if someone dies of heroin, you never know the dosage, the amount,
right?
Because it's who knows what you bought. Oh, my sister died of ecstasy. Well, no, she bought what they said was ecstasy from a handoff in a club. You don't know what that is. But prescription drugs, if someone dies of prescription drugs, tell us the exact amount.
Tell me the dosage.
Yeah.
Like Heath Ledger, Ambien and a Xanax. I went, okay, I've been there. Wait, tell me which one did he take first? Like, I want to know the exact dosage. Like, I learned from someone, don't ever drink and then take a Xanax. Take a Xanax, then drink. I don't do them both at the same time. However, I will do like Xanax and then wait 5 hours and have a cocktail That's one of my favorite buzzes in the world. By the way, I'm going to sound like a fucking drug addict on this.
What dosage?
Half a milligram.
Half 0.5.
0.5.
Yeah.
And then if I know
a quarter
that
bar.
Drink, like so say it. Let's just say
a half
I
a
come
blue
back from Vietnam.
A peach.
Yeah. Yep.
I spell it out in the book. Like this is.
If I come back from Vietnam and I got to do parent stuff, I'll take half a milligram in the morning.
Not the war. A motorcycle trip.
Yeah, motorcycle.
If you're a new listener, he's not 70 years old coming back from Nam, and he needs Xanax to take the edge off Miley. And all those gook kids, but they could have had something in their diaper. Those gook kids could have had something in their diaper. Johnny, I can't feel my legs. Johnny, I can't feel my leg.
I got corrected one time. I called it shrapnel, and they go, no, it's shrapnel.
Shrapnel? They call it shrapnel? Shrapnel?
I call it shrapnel.
When you're trying to fit in at the VFW?
Did you ever, you know what I've been watching obsessively? Is Tracy Morgan's morning appearance where he goes, I come back from Vietnam. You ever see that?
No, but I can, after listening to Miss Pat's book, where after you listen to the audiobook of Miss Pat, which I learned from your podcast, we listened to it, and she butchers the English language so much that I call her the Ask Murderer.
The Ask Murderer. Did you listen to her audiobook?
Oh, it's fucking fantastic.
Oh, it's I think audiobooks like that are better than the book.
At first, when I listened to it, I couldn't figure out what she was saying. Look a house that she was saying. Liquor.
I lived in a liquor house.
And for a long time,
shut up.
Liquor house.
Liquor house is something that I didn't understand so many things in that world. So I was like, that's just one more thing that I don't understand.
It was so fucking. It was one of the best audiobooks I've ever listened to.
Oh, shut up.
I was so glad that she read it herself because her story is so fucking phenomenal that if anybody else tried to read that story, just a narrator, it would never work.
Well, because I learned about it from Kreischer's podcast.
Yeah, and then you guys told me about it.
And
I didn't listen to the podcast.
I thought, well, at first I thought, I don't want to hear Miss Pat. And then I listened to that, and then I do want to listen to this book.
Dude, did you hear the story she told about? Did you hear about Willie B? Not Willie B, the gorilla. She told a story to Leanne that Leanne and her. Man, I'm gonna fuck this up. There was a gorilla named after the. I think it was named.
You work on this. Let me finish my sentence. You think about that. Miss Pat, she, for the first maybe 20 minutes, because she said on Kreischer's podcast, I didn't write it. I told someone and they tape recorded it. I don't fucking read it right. And the audiobook is going to suck if she has to read it. And at first, it's clunky, and you realize she's having a hard time. We did this. Chad Shank, my audiobook, my first book, Chad Shank, we traded chapters where Chad has the golden pipes, and I suck at reading. So, Miss Pat, I think I'd rather just read the book than listen to. But when she gets into that dialect and then I asked that man, but then it's clunky reading, but then she gets into it. Once you get into it, it's kind of like Irvine Welsh, if you ever read Irvine Welsh, where he reads and... All right, I was waiting for you to get your point.
I say that when I did my audiobook, it took 15 hours for me to get through it. It's a 5-hour audiobook. It took me 15 hours. And they kept in...
Oh, it took us way longer than that.
They kept in all the fuck-ups of me going, motherfucker! I can't even fucking... Who fucking wrote this? And then,
did you do that?
And then they kept it all in. I ripped pages out. I'm like, fuck, I'm taking my pants off. And I laugh at parts. I do impressions. Like, I dated a girl with cerebral palsy, but I didn't know she had cerebral palsy. I was drinking a lot at the time. And so... I thought I don't know why I'm telling Wendy this, but we were just so hammered. My buddies were like, "You should take her out in the day." And then and Patrice was the one that found out she had cerebral palsy, and I did an impression of Patrice on the book. I was like, he was like, "Damn, Bert, what's wrong with that girl's Like, so in my audiobook, it's so, I don't make any money from my audiobook, so I'm definitely not promoting it. But I got done.
You should have gone with Audible. At Audible.
The best was the guy who did my audiobook, the engineer, was like, hey, it was a rough one. And I was like, when we got done, I go, yeah, I'm sorry, man. And he was like, well, it wasn't as bad as Tracy Morgan's. And I said, I go, how was Tracy Morgan's? He goes, I'm not certain he can read.
Oh, shit.
Apparently, Tracy Morgan just got the book, and he was like, fuck, let me just tell you the story. and just threw it off to the side and just talked.
We did a lot of that. We did a lot of that on our audiobook.
I didn't know that I could read audiobooks to Stanhope. You want to read my audiobook? And I'd just be retarded to not say yes. So I said yes.
Yeah.
And halfway through it, the producer that was with us, we're outside taking a break, and he goes, man, thank you. This would be taking so much longer if you weren't here.
Oh, I can't read for shit.
I can't read out loud at all.
No.
Isla can't read it out loud. Well, Isla's dyslexic, but she can't read out loud at all either. And
I don't know what dyslexic means, but after I wrote the book, I go, I'm probably that.
Yeah. I think most comics probably have a hint of dyslexia, hence they like talking their ideas better out.
I can read pretty good. If you need any voiceover work, you can email me at audioshank@iCloud.
Audio Shank?
Or look me up on voices.
Yeah, he's doing voiceover now.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Let's do a little reel real quick.
Yeah, do you have anything you have to sponsors?
No,
so you don't have to clog up the first 21 minutes of your fucking podcast with it?
Dude, I really do love Blue Apron. I know that you guys were shitting on me.
Oh, that's what I was going to get back to. One of the 17 topics I've brought up. That was one of the top 3 I was going to do with you tonight. Top 3 sponsors you wish you had. Like people, businesses, even like...
Oh, number one.
We just got a sports book one, finally, where I had Brian shopping for a sports book. So we get a sports book.
I'm in. I know who I want.
Hey, Doug, do you mean someone like proflowers.com or maybe Movement Watches?
Yeah, hey, we're all, yep. Where's your Movement Watch, Bert Kreischer?
Oh, I
guess you're not in the gang.
Movement watch.
Wait, what's a Movement Watch?
Well, you're gonna have to find out when they contact you.
Movement Watch.
Why don't you just ogle mine?
Wait, what are Movement Watches?
They're just,
by the way, they're getting a free plug on my podcast. Oogle.
All right, so
not Oogle.
Bert.
I am buzzed.
Bert.
I don't know if that was a real word.
3 types of businesses you wish you could.
I've already got it.
Sponsor.
I've got it.
You got it already.
I want Mercedes. Here's my pitch. Mercedes, if you're listening. I'll take BMW also. I'll also take Lincoln.
See, you already ruined the pitch.
I want a car sponsor, but it's a luxury sedan.
Tesla.
And I want to do my reads in the car. I want you to hear the city pumping downtown LA. Shoo, door shuts.
Get the fuck out of my head. Fuck you.
Yep.
I got a gun.
Who wants a papaya? And then I go, door shuts and it's silent. Hey guys, it's Bert Kreischer. Welcome to the Bertcast. We got a brand new podcast for you. You're going to love it. Drive to my house for the intro read. Open the door and go, and then you hear my kids, Dad, they're already in the back. Uncle Doug says there's no Santa. And I'm like, podcast starting right now. That silence was brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz, literally the only way to drive. Right? That's one of my podcasts. Tito's. Obviously, I want Tito's.
Well, you kind of have Tito's. I heard it bleed into one of your podcasts where they send you shit to your next.
They send me products.
So it's kind of like my Saks underpants. Like, hey, I promoted them first, and then they send me free underpants. But they didn't actually follow through on the last.
What about Twizzlers carameled apple flavored candy?
I'm going to take a hard pass on that, Wendy.
Well, Wendy, that's what we did before we ever had sponsorship, we would be fake sponsored by things we just like. Because Sabra hummus was, I think, the first one. I love Sabra hummus.
Oh, yeah.
But if you got, well, you don't smoke. Cigarettes would be.
Why can't you get a cigarette
That's the thing. They have that ban on TV, radio, print, but podcasting. This is the same as I have this idea with.
I've been thinking about starting smoking a lot lately.
No, but I would love to break, like, be that guy that, here, wave the thing. The lights keep coming off and on because there's homeless people. It's one of those things where you go, okay, they made the law about not advertising cigarettes. But podcasting is a new, where you could get into some kind of Larry Flint Supreme Court battle.
Oh, I guarantee you. Why don't you get a sponsorship? You smoke American Spirits?
Yeah, but I don't want to promote cigarettes. It's the only thing I regret in my life is starting smoking. Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever quit?
Terrible. I'm going to try again. That's why I quit drinking. Not to quit drinking, to quit smoking. But
I don't smoke cigarettes,
I'm gonna get
but
you,
if somebody will pay me, I'll promote them.
I'll get you in on this Rogan 90-day bet, and we're going to fucking... Oh, man, you'll be health nuts. We'll be doing kettlebells,
you
Doug.
You missed the part where Stanhope said you had to lower it to a 30-day bet if you want him in.
Well, 30 days would have to be the beginning. Like, where you're not working. We can't not work for 90 days. 30 days should be enough. I can't go on stage without being drunk. I haven't done it since 2004.
I can go on stage without being drunk. My problem is I can't go to bed without being drunk.
You can if you just stay up for 3 days. I've done this at home. You just stay up and you watch Netflix and you have kids and shit. I don't have that. If I sit on my couch and I can't sleep, I just do stuff. Maybe fold some clothes or something. I don't have responsibilities or neighbors.
Rehab. Hey, just fold some clothes, man.
Just be up. I can't sleep. You don't have to sleep if you don't have to work.
That's similar. That's what Jenny has told me before, because I would try to struggle with trying to sleep, in a pattern, I don't know, reasonable way. Fuck do you care? You don't have a job, dumbass. Just sleep whenever. And I do the same thing. I'll stay up and then I'll fall asleep later. But
one of my favorite things in the world.
If you don't know, the people that are with us, we all live in Bisbee and we don't have jobs. Like, I work when I want to, but Jenny occasionally does. Point being, here's how. Don't need an ankle bracelet. Okay. For 30 days, we are in a place that we don't have alcohol. We get dropped off. I have a lot of locations where you can't get booze unless you're going to hike 9 miles down.
Wait. You ready for this? Okay. Yeah. I sold this show, but I'm willing to unsell it. I apologize to the people that I sold it to. If you're like, wait, I thought we were doing that. What about this? You ready for this?
You always give people ideas on your show. I've noticed that. You give people like, you guys should be a podcast. This is the show you should do. So, yes, give us one.
Stranded and Branded. Me and Doug go to a desert island for 30 days, and we are only supported by corporate integrations. So we get there. Sponsorship. First day, Lazy Boys. Fucking drop off 40 Lazy Boys.
Yeah, we have talked about this.
Yeah, we build shelter.
Out of Lazy Boys?
Yeah, we just got to repurpose Lazy Boys.
It's raining. Pull out the footrest.
Yeah. Second day, fucking Dr. Scholl's. We just get a ton of integrations, and that's how we live. And no booze. Strokes, probably. Blood pressure medicine. How does that work with strokes, how did that guy die from booze? Not true.
No, that's why I emailed Dr. Drew.
Did you talk about that?
We started talking.
How much was he drinking?
I don't know. That guy, we'll
True
never
Blood,
know.
right?
But when I emailed Dr. Drew, I told him exactly how much I think I drink every day. And I go, I know you're going to just tell me to see a physician. And he goes, yeah, that's what I'm going to... I have to reread the email, what he said. But, go see a doctor.
How many drinks did you say?
15 to 20 a night.
Wait.
I sell 4.
Because
those are doubles or triples because it's not a bartender making the drink.
Yeah.
It's when you pour your. Listen, honestly, if I pour my own drink, and I just found out Doug feels the same way. If Tracy's pouring the drinks, they're heavy. So if we're getting a double or a triple, and we're going, I just had a drink. That's not like getting a drink at Deadwood where they pour a shot.
At some point, maybe 8 years ago now, I switched. I was a beer drinker. You know how much alcohol is in a beer. If you have 12 beers, you know you had 12 measured shots. When I self-pour, I don't fucking know where. Half of these glasses are from hotel rooms. And
Glasses? I use 32-ounce styrofoam cups.
Red cups?
What do you drink? Tito's and
soda.
And soda.
I do.
You lost 70 pounds.
I open a thing of LaCroix, and I fill it up with LaCroix. I pour one full LaCroix in there, and then I fill the rest up with Tito's.
Is it flavored? Hey, there's another sponsor. All right, that's my next sponsor I would want is either Canada Dry or
Schweppes.
Ooh.
The small glass bottles.
I love those.
Vodka, fuck a Tito's versus a Popov. It's the soda
it's the
water.
Schweppes that makes it. We're drinking Schweppes right now, I think.
Yeah, we have Canada Dry in a 1 liter.
Yeah.
You get it in the small 10-ounce glass bottle. That is like that sparkly when Coca-Cola burned your throat because of the bubbles.
So wait. Let's talk about how much booze we drink. Because I wonder, like, I know that I've been at an airport. I have been in an airport. This is secret time. I've been at an airport, and I've had 3 doubles and not felt it at all.
3 doubles from a bartender
Tito's,
that isn't Tracy or you.
Right. And then and been like, God damn it, man. I know on paper it looks like I'm drinking a lot, but I am not feeling any of this.
We listened to
the
this
people at the airport call that a mark. This guy thinks he's drinking.
You want to make it a double for $2 more?
Yeah.
The only thing extra is the $2.
By the way,
that feels like
Tracy's
AA when I say
heavy
no.
on that one.
Yeah?
I'm not sure
finally you're getting a regular drink.
Soda in these.
Like my wife was like, "Hey, no more 32-ounce Tito's and sodas," because she's like, "It's not." She's like, "It's a bottomless pit." My wife and my therapist were like, "Hey, you got to start bringing weed on the road with you." Because if I smoke weed, anyone will attest. Mackenzie, when this week, if I smoked weed at the club, I didn't smoke weed at the club. Hypothetically, if I smoked weed at the club, I was done for the fucking night. I just went to bed, and that was like my wife's
your
like
regimen.
Yeah, I have a couple. Maybe I had like 4 Tito's and sodas over the night, doubles in a big glass, and then I'd have a hit of weed and I'd be done for the night. And I'm like, I'm going to bed.
See, 4 drinks in a night would be a night where I say I didn't really drink last night.
Yeah.
And when you're getting drinks when they're mixed drinks, liquor, you don't know what you're getting. Someone gives you a drink from the audience. You don't know how much alcohol.
Dude, I had to stop doing shots. It was fucking my throat up. Like I would lose my voice. First show Thursday.
You haven't found your voice yet. You're young.
By the way,
your voice will come when you put his shirt back on.
Are these the parts you're remembering?
Artistically, this is the best podcast I've ever done.
I'm sure it's annoying the listener because I keep bringing up different topics and then we get distracted.
Can I tell you? This is a secret time. I wanted my agents, all my agents and managers, when I did my first special, they were like, "Hey, you got to put a fucking shirt on. Like, you can't do a special with his shirt off." And I was like, "Yeah, but I don't perform with his shirt on, so I don't want my first time to do it to be on my special." And then they were like, "All right," and we did it. And they all thought they're like, "You're gonna regret this." And then those clips went viral.
Yeah.
And now they're like, I just had a meeting, and they're like, yo, you're not doing this special with your shirt on, are you? And I was like, you guys said it was a bad idea. I was going to do it in a suit. And they were like, nah, you're shirtless. That's the only way we can sell this fucking thing.
I envy you for being able to do it with a shirt off, and I'm half your weight. Because at least you're bulky and like barrel chested. It all matches. I'm like an elderly man with some spill belly.
But if I stop drinking for 90 days, I'm not going to look like I look now. And I'll just be like, they're like, why is his shirt off? Like, when I took it off, they're like, oh, he's fat. I get it. Oh, it's staying off. Okay.
What if we get Dr. Drew to come to Johnny Depp Island at the Bahamas?
Oh, yeah.
By the way,
an island.
that is my one, like, I need caveats in this bet. Because I go, what if Stanhope calls once again with Johnny Depp, and he's like, hey, we're partying at Johnny's house. Come hang out. And I'm in L.A.? There's no fucking way I break the bet. I lose the bet.
How do you not drink?
How do I not drink?
Yeah.
How do I not drink? I just saw a picture today with Hunter S. Thompson, John Cusack, and Johnny Depp. And they were going around with this inflatable doll back in like the 90s. And I was like, I live my life for those nights. Like, if you guys called me like that one time, you're like, hey, we're playing guitars, come hang out. I'm back. The bet's off. I'm fucking drinking. There's no fucking way. Only a fucking lunatic stays sober.
We went back from the Comedy Store one night so drunk to Mr. Depp's house. And can I talk about this?
No, it's in the book as a fake story. Like, there's things I can't talk about. Like, this never happened.
I never went to Johnny Depp's house.
Yeah,
But I thought I ruined that guitar.
There was stuff I can't talk about. But we ran into Marin that night, and he goes... Go ahead.
I'm still going to tell you that story.
Just say it.
All right, if you tell, the Molly Ringwald... No, I can't do it.
I can't talk to Marin about the Molly Ringwald.
We're doing what we hate.
It's not even my story is so much better. But it's in the book, and it kind of telegraphs itself. But the lawyers can't give me shit. How much lawyer shit? I'm sure I asked on the last... When you wrote your book, how much shit did you get from lawyers?
A lawyer called me immediately. First thing he said was, I think the Russian mafia story is fake. I need to know that because you use people's names. And I was like, no, it's a true story. He goes, okay, whatever. And I was like, it's true. And then when that story went viral and the kids in the class posted pictures of the me robbing them, they were like, the lawyer. I guess the lawyer must have been like, motherfucker. He thought the Will Smith story he was fucking not happy with.
Oh, Louis C.K. told me a fucking Will Smith story.
Really?
That was just really creepy. It's not good like yours. He didn't try to molest him.
What was his stories?
Just he was hired to punch up some, or he was looking to hire him to punch up a script, but he comes into this elaborate kind of... I'm doing this a huge injustice, by the way, but... and he's having breakfast across a long table.
Like a boardroom.
Yeah, just with, like, security around.
Really?
Louis, I think, said no. But it's a really good story if Louis tells it and he's here and he's not drunk.
Does Louis drink?
A little bit.
I worked with him. Pablo Francisco broke his...
Oh, Pablo Francisco.
Google alert.
Oh, I got
Wendy.
You know what? We should probably at some point kill this podcast because I don't want to do what you do and start stories you can't tell. Because you pulled up in an Uber. He gave us the wrong address.
I did. It was my fault.
No, he gave you the address. He gave me.
Wendy sent the address.
I know, but all of our Ubers pulled up.
It's my fault.
They're trying to look for 209 instead of 290, but they all pulled up at the same place. So Kreischer says, "I'm 4 minutes away." I go, "I'll go to where your Uber's going to take you to because if you had the same wrong address."
Yeah.
And I just waited for him, and he walked out of this Uber going, "Oh, I got some gossip."
Oh, yeah.
Save it for the podcast. He goes, "No, this is not podcast."
Oh, I want to talk about the Pablo thing. Only because it's out there. It's out there, and I have Pablo's back in this Because I feel like
do you
Pablo
want to explain
sometimes.
it just in case someone doesn't know about this? I mean,
Pablo Francisco is a comic I kind of started with in my first couple years, and we used to I played with meth for a minute back then, and this guy Gordon Feinberg
You ain't gonna pass over that. I played with meth for a minute back then.
Yeah, it snorted a bit of meth before it was smokable and intervention was around. And then you were young and you were... So Pablo and I, there was an open micer that you took advantage of.
Wendy, this could have been tomorrow morning at your club. Just me and him doing this on stage with you.
But we would never get to this.
No, we would never get to this.
So
This is what I like. I like the intimacy of this. And thank you, Wendy, so much for letting us do this.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful place.
Such a beautiful house. So keep going.
So you know the open micer you started with that you kind of used because he had the PA or he had the nice apartment and you were living on the couch. Gordon Feinberg was his kid. He was a terrible open micer, but he had a trust fund.
Mine was Eddie Ift.
Okay.
I'm kidding, Eddie. I'm kidding.
You just had him on a podcast.
So me and Becker...
Pod call.
Eddie,
by the way, you know that's going to turn viral, this pod calling? Bro, you got pod called at Matt Bronger's podcast 45 minutes in.
Hey,
If
did you
see
pod
this
call?
podcast, that was not a pod call.
If you pod call, put a link in to the podcast.
Yeah, and tell them at what point that mention happened.
Yeah,
because
say
timestamp.
at the
And
116.
nobody wants to listen to the entire thing.
And exactly.
Yo, Bronger, you got Paul called it.
But they
1
don't
minute
put the
37.
link in. I don't know how to listen to my podcast. If you said, "Hey, listen to your own podcast," I wouldn't know where to find it.
Where do I get it?
Gordon Feinberg was this kid with a trust fund that thought he might be funny, and he wasn't, but he had this nice spread in Tempe. So me and Pablo and Becker would just kind of abuse him for his niceness. Yeah. And there was one night me and Pablo were doing meth, and he was drinking tequila, and I was probably drinking something mixed with tequila, so I couldn't taste tequila.
I'm standing. I'm good, guys. I'm good.
And we're both watching porn on the old school widescreen TVs that are like
with the big deep dish in the back,
4 feet deep,
Yeah.
much less wide. Each of us hoping the other guy would finally fall asleep so the other guy could jerk off. And I did a guest set early on or later on, but early on in my career, where Pablo was doing a guest set at the Irvine Improv or one of those improvs.
Yeah.
And I said, you got to tell. He had one joke I liked, and I said, I was headlining, and I said, you have to go back up and tell that joke, or I'm going to tell him about the time at Gordon Feinberg's when we were both fucking tweaked out of our heads. He went back up and did the bit.
He is someone I'd like to read his biography.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because Pablo,
fucking good one.
And by the way, I'm definitely not shitting on Pablo, and I don't want to bring up bad stuff in his life that he wants to get past. But one of the things I respect in Pablo is he's one of us. He's like a broken toy. Like he's had these I remember. I've told this definitely. We did.
We need to back up here.
Okay.
Pablo had a YouTube thing go viral where he was so fucked at a show that he just kept saying the same joke over and over again. You wouldn't know it. Don't need to look it up. If you don't know Pablo, he was spiraled out, and he goes, "Oh, he was drunk as shit." No, we're drunks. Kreischer and I are drunks.
Yeah.
We know what drunk is. That's spun out on an amphetamine.
He was in a cycle, and it's. I think it's tough to watch as a comic, because trust me, I feel like I've been there. Like I've definitely been like, when I was 22, I got involved with the Russian Mafia. When I was 22, I got involved with the Russian Mafia. When I was 22, I got involved but it was tough to watch for a number of reasons. But I will say that Pablo's the guy that you'd hear the stories about on the road that were always folklore. You know, they were always like, oh, man, Pablo this, you know. But he's He's a really sweet guy.
He is.
He's like the sweetest guy ever, and he's a great comic. Like, dude, I'm telling you when I say this, he puts on an amazing show. Like, an amazing show. But, like, if you pay $20 to see me, you're going, like, that's worth $20. You pay $20 to see Pablo, you go, God damn it, that felt like a $30 show. Like, he's a legit.
Can't believe I paid $20.
Right, he's a great comic.
All right, I have not seen him since the early days. And
oh, dude, I watched him one night.
What he got spun into in the cycle was shit he was doing 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know that that's not the... I assume he's doing the same shit. He's one of those comics that has a handler.
He does.
Do you know anyone else that has had a handler? All right, you're the opening act, but your real job is to make sure he doesn't find crack or heroin. Goddamn! Where's Wendy now? Where's Wendy now?
But like
when I come back, I'm gonna get Wendy because I'm gonna piss in the pool because no one told me where the bathroom is.
Go piss. Right. I'm gonna defend Pablo. No, we're on the same page. We're on the same page.
All right,
can we just pause?
I'm gonna stay with this because I like this one. No, fuck it. No.
Let it roll. Let it roll.
I'm with.
Go piss.
I'm with you.
He's peeing right now.
Yeah, Pablo is a guy that I think every comic loves, but it's like. And this is the thing I'd like to ask Wendy is like, I know Pablo's had to have heard this. Hey, Wendy.
Yeah.
This is my question to you.
We're talking about Pablo, but
and by the way, you don't have to say anything that you like. I know that you probably work with Pablo and.
Not anymore because he works for the Improvs.
Oh, I did too.
What? You're not that lady.
No, he's just one of the people. I mean, I think they're managed by him, and he works for them.
Oh, this could go so disastrously wrong.
No, it's just that, like, I can't work him because he's one of the very few that would choose that club.
Who's his manager?
I think it's Judy Brown, isn't it?
Do you work with Judy Brown?
It's Levity.
We should have given it more of a pause.
Oh, we need the beat there.
All of a sudden, you're going to want edits in this. You're going to need Chaille.
Is Judy Brown your manager?
Shout out to Judy Brown, who was here the other night when Wendy was not, apparently.
Yeah, I was. Actually, I wasn't. No, sorry. I had a rough day
Wendy,
at the gym.
The question is. I'm white. Stay with me.
I'm with you.
Have you ever worked with a comedian that needed a handler to make sure they didn't score drugs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Who?
You don't have to say it.
Well, Geraldo.
Did Geraldo have?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Jesse.
He did have a handler.
Pablo's guy was, what's his name? Flip Schultz, who I know.
Are you serious?
Skippy Green?
So.
Skippy Green?
Pablo is huge in Scandinavia because you don't really need a grasp
$3 million
of the language.
run this guy would do. Pablo would go. By the way, shout out to Pablo. If you want to do my podcast, I'd love to have you on. Obviously, we won't trade. Let's do it during the 90-day stretch.
But
like,
you're gonna tell him my get for podcast, but I'll tell you later. You're gonna fucking
write that down. You need a list, Chaille.
It's right here.
All right, go ahead. Pablo.
Pablo is. What was I going to say?
You want him on your podcast?
Oh, he would do a $3 million run in Scandinavia. He was really big because he did these impressions. But he did, for those of you who don't know Pablo is a comic who is, and correct me if I'm wrong, and Wendy, please feel free to chime in.
Okay.
He's a guy that can go on stage and turn everything into an inside joke. Everything he does becomes an inside joke with you and them. So, like, he'd do a joke, like Are you with Allstate? Like, but you'd recognize it. It wasn't necessarily a joke, but by the end of the night, when he did it the 7th time, you're fucking howling, laughing, going like,
"You're an easy laugh, Bert."
I'm a real easy laugh.
Yeah.
But like,
Bert, you laugh at things that aren't funny and make me laugh.
At you. Yeah. You should be the handler, not the machine. You're the handler.
I could just go,
just laugh at crack addicts,
Pablo,
and you make them funny. The whole laugh.
He would do these. He did a special, and he'd do these runs in Scandinavia, and he'd make like $3 million. No, I mean IRS don't listen to this like for real, but and just fucking be done for the year. And then, I would say, and I'd say this to Judy or Robert or anyone, and I think this is the argument about Mitch. Wendy, jump in. But, like, he's like myself. I don't say no to a date. When we started adding shows, I probably should have said no to Tuesday. I probably should have just done Sunday and Monday. And Segura and I had the conversation today. It was like, you should have not done Tuesday. That's where you start turning the corner and you go, this is becoming unhealthy. And I think Pablo has that gene too, where he's like,
why don't you just take the day off?
I can't take any days off.
Yeah, that's
what
before he died.
I was on that tour with him right before he passed away, and he felt his explanation was he worked for so long where he couldn't get he tried to work for so long he couldn't get gigs.
Hang on, I'm gonna piss, and you tell him the story about when 2 weeks before he died.
Grab Doug's mic. Doug, you go piss.
No, I'll tell the story about
Wendy, where are you going? Are you going to show me the bathroom?
The most beautiful bathroom in the world.
So wait. Can I tell you that today I talked to Segura and I was like, this, by the way, this is hardcore secret telling, but like, this is what I like about a podcast, in my opinion.
The water feature in the background?
Yeah. He was like, dude, Segura was pretty aggressive with me. He's like, you're fucking up, man. He's like, the money's going to be there tomorrow. Stop. Because I lose my voice. We did that video, and all he saw of that video was like, you seem burnt, man. He's like, your voice is out. You're exhausted. He's like, you got to stop. And I was like, yeah, but you got to remember, I was making $3,000 a week fucking 8 months ago. 8 months? Not 8 months ago. 8 months ago I was making like, whatever. But like, I looked at my Brea deal, and I was making $3,000 a week the last time I did Brea. This time I did Brea, I had a door deal, so I go, of course I want to add shows. Of course I want to do every show. If people want to see me do stand-up, I want to do stand-up for them. But there's a fine line between being overworked and killing yourself. No joke, that sounds so silly, but like legit dying, and what did Mitch say?
We were on the tour with co-headlining with Stephen Lynch, and he was working a lot because he had 2 agencies booking him.
Oh my God!
Bill Graham was booking the double tour, the co-headlining tour with Lynch, and it was Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and then I'd fly back to Florida, Tampa, and him and Lynn would cruise for the week until they picked me up on Thursday again or Wednesday to keep going. And then I'd get calls. We're doing a Wednesday show at University of Nebraska. Tommy Lee's there too, so they want to know if you guys want to hang. I mean, this is fucking crazy.
We get to the last? I was just pissing for a long, long time.
He went into something that I'm telling about the Mitch quote.
All right,
we're talking about riding comics into the grave.
So he had 2 agencies booking him. So anytime that the college booking could get in there, they'd do it. And it was too much. And we were talking about it while driving the motorhome to a gig, and he said he remembers a time when he couldn't work.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to not take work.
When do you make enough money, Bert?
Hold on.
At what point?
He felt that life was like his life at the time was like an upside down pyramid.
Chaille.
Where he's at the bottom, at the point.
Chaille.
And all these people above him.
Chaille.
What?
Don't get to that place.
No, he asked me a question.
I know, but
well, let's. This is a perfect example. It's a perfect example.
But you hit your beat.
Trust me. I've never been able to work at this club. I got offered one Sunday show at the tail end of a Phoenix trip. The feeling I get, and I hope people understand this, the feeling I get when you called and you said, hey, we'd like to add another Sunday show. I think you even said, and we might be able to add Monday shows. I've never had that in my life. I've been doing stand-up for fucking nothing forever. So the fact that the club that I love, that I've never played at, that Attell did Skanks for the Memories at, wants me to add shows, that's a weird boost to your, like, ego where you end up saying it in conversations where it doesn't matter to anybody. Like I'm saying it to fucking Eric Grusin. We had his shows at Comedy Works. He didn't know what fuck Comedy Works is. But I'm like, but if he did, he'd be like, oh, that's really cool. The fine line is, like, how do you not die on the road?
Well, you have a whole different thing going on. You have a house in L.A., which means you have a mortgage. You have kids that you have to put through college.
So what's your nut?
I come here or your house and I go, oh, this is actually really nice. Where I thought I lived really nice, but I do because my shit's paid for.
Dude, I've been talking with my buddy Tom about getting a compound. I want a compound. I want what you have.
But you won't be paid off till those kids are responsible for themselves.
Yeah.
I get to a place where I go, oh, I own it. My taxes are like $3,000 a year. If I can quit at any time, but I still don't. Well, at some point I'll get thyroid cancer or something. Like you worry about college funds. I worry about, well, how is Bingo going to live when I die of cancer in 3 years?
You said I've all but Ubered cancer to my front door. I've mentioned that to people probably 5 times. I've all but Ubered cancer to my front door. Wendy, what's your insight on this? You've seen comics.
Yeah, I've seen comic like Mitch. You mean?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's and I know that I'm ultra clean in terms of drugs and alcohol, but it's really sad to watch. I mean, it was sad to watch. Mitch.
Snapple addict.
And it's true. Diet Snapple. It's my one and only vice I've got left.
Sucralose will kill you quicker than heroin.
But it's sad. You know, I don't think I ever saw Mitch present.
Really?
I don't think so. No, I don't recall ever having a conversation with him where he was present. He was never present. Absolutely. Greg, absolutely.
He was present?
More years and very different. And maybe it was just the timing of all of that, you know?
Greg was a different type of person. Even when Hedberg was just a weed and alcohol guy, I didn't know him. Once we both went to headliner status, you don't see each other.
Yeah, you don't see your friends anymore.
But we were young kids starting out together, and we'd do acid and we'd do mushrooms and mostly just drink. But even then, he was still an introvert. Like, he was very funny. Together we could hang out, but out in public. But these guys, when we were talking about Pablo, when I left to piss.
Oh, yeah.
Where we talked about comics you'd love to read a biography. Oh. Pablo, it's like the show Intervention. Heroin addicts and pill poppers are the most boring. Oh, I smoke fucking oxys and I inject them, and they just lay around. Pablo doesn't have an interesting life.
No,
you'd want to hear about.
I would love to hear Pablo's life.
He hides in a room in the dark and he smokes crack or tries not to smoke crack. That's what I would assume.
Oh, I heard a story about him one time I won't share here, but it had to do with
titty bar, fucking back room.
Yeah, but I would love to. Okay, ready? Here's my question to you. Pablo comes out with a Netflix special, and it's titled No Impressions, Just Pablo.
He told the truth?
And he told the truth about his life in a comedic way. I'd be fucking so into that.
Chaille, write down my Get podcast. Because we got to share gossip after
By
this.
the way, Levity is going to fucking hate me for this.
Why?
Because they represent Pablo. And, look, there's a lot of, like, damage management that you do when something like that happens. But part of me goes, no. You fucking...
own it!
Yeah, you own it. You do Captain... What's the guy from Forrest Gump? Captain Dave? Captain Dan. You do Lieutenant Dan. You fucking sit there on top of the mast going, fuck it, I'm doing the storm. Like, that's what I want Pablo to do. Is go, yeah. I fucking melted down.
When Becker and I picked up that transvestite hooker, and this is like kind of open mic days,
and she was going to blow us both for $15, and then she robbed me, and we get into a big fist fight. We went the next night to open mic and told the story on stage. Like,
I would love for Pablo to do that. I would love to hear his side of. I want to know his side of it. You know what I mean? It's Richard Pryor, but imagine if Richard Pryor didn't talk about what he went through.
When people start hiding their drug use, that's when I don't trust them. If someone goes, "Hey, you want to get an 8-ball?" Okay. It's the guy that's sniffling, going, "Yeah, I quit a long time ago, man. Hey, dude, I'm just hard up on my luck." When they start lying, that's when you.
That's the thing that I like. I think one of the things with, like, you know, people go, I'm always going to tell you, be super honest about what I do. I'm never going to lie, because once you start lying, that's when everyone turns on you and is like, "Oh." That's
when you go, "Oh, watch him. He's going to the bathroom, but I met a dude. My Xanax is in the bedroom. Just follow him, dude. Make sure he doesn't take a right."
A chick who's a friend of the family's. She was an alcoholic. She is an alcoholic. But she was doing Xanax and drinking, and no one could figure out why she was getting so fucked up so quickly. And I called her out in front of everyone, thinking that's how it works. Like, I do it to you, Chad. Like, I do it to Doug. I go, "Oh, you took a Xanax. That's why you're so fucked up so quick." And she fell apart, and then started lying about my daughter. And then we ended up losing her as a friend, because they were like, "She's got a problem." I was like, "Yeah, but she should have just owned it and been like, yeah, that's what I did." Like, I'm always pretty transparent about my partying.
Andy's honest in that the day after I'll go, "Sorry, I stole a lot of your Xanax. I went through your travel shelf and I stole a lot
yeah, but I don't do that often. That's yeah. I
You're eventually honest.
Yeah.
You're eventually honest.
A moment of weakness followed by.
Point being, there's the people that have to pretend. "No, I've been clean for 3 years," and you go, "You're bleeding out of your vein in your elbow."
I'm kind of in awe, and you guys have a lot of thought into this. And when I do if I do a bump of cocaine, I'm hoping for a heart attack, because I've promised that I won't kill myself, but I never once promised not to die of a heart attack.
By the way, your wife's gentle shake of the head was my favorite part of the night. Just this.
We'd get comment from her, but she doesn't speak a word of English. She's from the Dongwang province of Longdong.
So, how much hotter than you?
So Pablo.
Yeah.
He has Flip Schultz as his handler, #opening act. He's
Skippy
big
Green.
in Scandinavia. So we're kind of shadowing his tour in Scandinavia, where Pablo was just there. Pablo's coming there, and they love him. And I kept goofing on him in my shows, because I'm playing way smaller venues.
Yeah.
And I'd go, "Oh, hey, I heard you love Pablo Francisco. One man, one joke." Just goofing on him. At the end of the tour, we play Helsinki, Finland. And we pull into the hotel in downtown Helsinki, Finland. And there's a giant... I'm sure I've told this story, but I don't give a fuck. The size of a mall. Pablo, right across.
Really?
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding? This is like a 60-yard sign.
Yeah.
20 yards down. Of Pablo. And I'm like, because I've been fucking with him through Sweden and Norway, and just like goofing on. They love the just lack of needing to know the English language. And I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. Pablo Picasso. It's a fucking art museum. I'm like, but I was so like beating on Pablo, which I love Pablo, but yeah, you fuck with people.
I hope he's.
I'm not done.
Okay.
Go to the mall, which is next to the thing, in a food court. Me and Bingo we find a little tiny sushi place in the food court, and then I look, this is Flip Schultz, who I haven't seen since like
I don't even know if he's in LA anymore.
I have no idea, but he was the handler for Pablo, and I just see him in a random food court in Helsinki.
That's the greatest. I love those moments where you go,
yes.
I see a comic in a weird place.
Flip Schultz had like 9 comedy albums out, and he had been doing stand-up for like 4 years. And
I know a few of those.
Hey, by the way, it's Flip Schultz. Shout out to Flip Schultz. He did my first website. Paid like $150. He put up my first website. Wow. Yeah, Flip Schultz. Love Flip Schultz. I just want. I remember going to Miami and talking about Flip, and they were like, "Oh, we fucking hate Flip here." I was like, "Why?" And they're like, "He does his character Shecky Green, and he won't Skippy Green. He won't leave character." So Flip would go into open mics and in character and not talk to anyone as Flip. He'd be like, "Hi, how you doing?" And they were like, "Oh, this is going to be the podcast that gets me in trouble." I guarantee it.
Listen, I love Pablo. I haven't seen him in forever, but I'm sure his home life is not like his biography would be. And then he just retreated into a dark room with aluminum foil over all the windows.
If obviously Pablo's probably listening to this. I mean, he probably isn't. I think he's oblivious to podcasts.
No. He's listening to this through radio waves that come through the aluminum foil, and then he doubles down the aluminum foil. They're talking about me. What
would you say to Pablo?
I'm pretty sure somebody just pod called
if you could get into Pablo's ear and say, "This is what to do after that viral video."
I would.
How would you handle it?
Oh, geez, that's a good question. But I love doing this. I love Ray Donovaning situations, and that's the get I got. Because you can come back. Fucking Trump is president.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to watch how that happens. You don't apologize, first of all. You don't say I'm seeking treatment. What would you do?
That's not me. That's not who I am.
I remember the first time we talked.
That's the worst thing you can do.
That's the worst thing you can do.
The first time we talked about this on the podcast, you attacked the lax security for recording. I thought that was a pretty funny angle to go at.
Yeah.
The what?
The lax security in recording. Who are you allowing to record this shit? Right?
I was blaming the funny what's it called? Not the Funny Bone.
No, you gotta let that ride. By the way, shout out to Wendy. Wendy locks cell phones in bags when you do a show.
Oh, the Shapiro thing.
Yeah.
But here's me. If that's me, what was that?
That was your cigars.
No.
Oh yeah. If that's me,
my audience.
I Richard Pryor it. I take it in. I take it head first. Artie Lang it. I take it head first.
Yeah, but we're that kind of comic. He doesn't draw the audience that wants honesty. They want a distraction.
He totally can.
He could. After this many years, do you really think you could switch gears out of a character into yourself?
Yeah, every 5 minutes in a set, he just goes.
Could actually come out of a character and just. Well, that's a different.
That's the most elusive thing in my life is that Dice Clay is a character because I don't see him as a character.
Bobcat Goldthwait is one of the names I can come up with that grooved out of a character into an actual human being.
By the way, and I'll say this to Bobcat, who I think I'm friends with, way too late. I would have done it way earlier. Like I remember watching him. We did Ontario together.
Hey, this is the Bert Kreischer Monday Morning Quarterback Podcast. Yeah, if I were him, this is what I'd do.
I think when he burnt the couch, he was saying goodbye to Bobcat, where he was like, I'm done with this shit.
I saw that on TV the other day. Not as funny as I expected it to be.
No, not at all.
Really uncomfortable.
But he's such a good guy.
The new Pirates movie.
He's such a great guy. I would have definitely I was ready to hear him be Bobcat, be Bob, way before he was Bob. Does that make sense?
It was a progression.
I guess you have to do that. I don't know. I guess I'll start putting vests on. And like
Larry the Cable Guy became that guy, didn't he? Like, is that what you guys are talking about?
No, did Larry Cable the guy become Dan Whitney yet?
No.
Why would he?
He's still the same.
Why would he? Why fucking would he? Here we go. How about this? Fucking dumb it down. Dan, I love you. But like, I watched Dan's hour. It was good jokes. They're good jokes. But like, you watch him do some bits where you're like, well, he did one bit where he was like, I don't believe in global warming. If you ask me, it's just the Lord telling you what the temperature should be. And I was like, it wasn't even a joke. And they went fucking nuts. And I was like, oh, that's what it is to be successful. Dumb it down and just give them what they want. And fucking, why overthink it? Why overthink it? If you said to me, okay, ready?
I'll tell you why you overthink it, because you outspend yourself. You deficit. You go, oh, I'm going to be this big forever, and then you buy a bunch of dumb shit, and you go, oh, I got to keep saying dumb shit.
But like, okay, if you said to me, and answer for me, okay? Answer for me. If I said to you, you're Bert Kreischer in this scenario, listen, you're going to have a fantastic career. $13 million a year on the road. All I really need you to do is go on stage, take your shirt off, talk about whatever you want to talk about for 45 minutes, and tell the machine story. Do you do it? Chaille.
Don't ask me. I'm not a comic.
The answer is, do I have 2 kids and a fat mortgage in L.A., or do I have...
My mortgage is nothing. It's $2,500. But that's my point. It's like,
but you're still you.
Yeah,
I mean, you.
How much money do you need? I think that was the original question. At what point do you go, I made enough money? I don't understand guys like Howard Stern. Why are you still fucking waking up at 4 a.m.?
Because once you stop doing that, you die. Like what? I think, right?
Joe Paterno.
How great would that be?
Yeah, Joe Paterno stopped covering up molestations, and he literally
died. Killed him. It broke his spirit.
But Wheeler Walker Jr. is not going to be fucking Ben Hoffman anytime soon.
No.
Right. I mean, that's...
But like, if you said to me, like, hey, man, all you got to do is cut your sleeves off your shirt and do whatever the fuck you want, maybe I'd do it. Right?
Well, Pablo has an act. He's an act. He does voices. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to where we were. Pablo does voices, and for him to all of a sudden, after 20-something years of comedy doing I'm the guy, and I do this voice, and then go, hey, I'm just going to come clean with you. I was a crack addict for fucking 20 years.
I'd pay money to see that.
I would want to see it, but could he do it? When people hide their shit, we go out on stage as what we are.
That's the thing.
All of our fucking
someone goes, so are you Bert off stage as you are on stage? I go, it's same. Like, I'm the same. Like, if you hang out with me, I am who I am on stage, off stage. And to the point where I don't even think, like, I really don't, if we're going to be real honest about this, I don't even know if I write jokes. I think I just tell people secrets sometimes. And I just go, oh, you can't go to bed without drugs or alcohol. And I'm
you know what? If you're a long-time listener of the Bert Kreischer podcast,
can I get another cocktail, Tracy, please?
She fucked Ira Glass and ruined his marriage.
Oh, fuck me.
No, I didn't do this setup. Years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's great.
That was good. That was fucking brilliant. Doug, that was fucking brilliant. See, I would never want to change you from what you are on stage, but sometimes I look at me and I go, I should just change me. Like, I should be more, like, I should just dumb it down. Thing. Yeah, but I know, I go, what the fuck, like, why am I overthinking it? That's my whole thing about comedy.
I have this, you talked about this on one of your podcasts where you go, I'm out of stories. Like, because now you're a guy and you the machine and all that shit. You've bled it, and now you're just a guy that has kids, and I'm a fucking boring guy that lives in a small town. I don't do anything. I don't leave my house.
I respect Ron White more than ever because he stopped telling tater salad And by the way, I'm not saying that I'm not going to tell the machine story again, but like
You
I remember
still tell
saying
the machine story
every fucking show, because here's my point. Okay, I said this on stage the other night. What?
I had a bit.
Oh yeah.
Phase bit that I did for 11 years.
Yeah.
He won this San Francisco comedy.
It fucking killed every night. The
and I had to
crowd
do it.
loved.
It was like, hey, this is the ending of every porno is the short version.
Yeah.
And I'd shake up a bottle and make it like a perfect
Spray his
shot
face.
in the face. And it fucking killed. And it took me like,
Oh my god! Yeah, it was so fucking. It was fucking beautiful every time he did it too.
But I watched Ron White the other night on stage. I didn't pay for tickets. I got to watch him for free. But I will be dead serious. If he had said, I got kicked out of a bar one time, I would have fucking lit up inside. I want to hear that story.
Absolutely.
So as a fan, I understand that if you bought tickets to me and I stay when I was 22, I got involved with the Russian Mafia, that you light up, and I understand that's very recent. Like it's not like 10 years old. It's just happened this year that everyone found that story. So part of me says it is my onus to tell that story.
Is it on a special?
Yeah.
Filmed?
Yep.
Because I had to do that even after I gave it up. Even though I never got paid for that special. That's a fucking Kevin Booth thing.
By the way, I definitely want to talk about what this is, because I heard you guys talk about this. I want to do a series of productions through All Things Comedy where we re-record our old specials.
Write it down.
Wait, what?
Kevin Booth?
No refunds.
Oh, well, yeah, but I pod called him about that.
Yeah. And so I want to do my first special,
he's got a
and
thing
I want to
going on.
rewrite it, but I want to do that material again. I want to go through that material. I want to rewrite it as a comic I am today, and redo it, and then put it out there, and then I get all the money for that.
Well, this is what I pod called you about.
Yeah. I'm only complimenting you on this because this was your idea.
A certain company owns no refunds, which is one of my better specials. Arguably. It's the reason I know Johnny Depp and Marilyn Manson. Because
Wait, is No Refunds shot at Gotham?
Yeah. Yeah, through a certain company.
I know the company.
That won't fucking release it to me. So I want to set precedent.
I'm getting in so much trouble for this fucking podcast.
I already talked about this on my podcast. Let's discuss this after. What time are we at?
Yeah, no,
5 hours?
2:40?
2:11.
Oh, 2:11.
Not bad.
Yeah, but we're not gonna reach the record.
I think they made steaks. By the way,
Yeah.
almost. Should we eat and then finish this up?
The steaks are
No, fuck that.
in progress.
You can eat here.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
talk.
yeah,
Eat
yeah,
while
yeah.
you can't you eat in podcast?
I
don't
thought they
eat
went to
much
bed.
anymore.
I really thought they.
Well,
I go. Oh, we should leave because all the people that live
pod.
here went to bed. And
When you went to bed? Oh, okay.
no, I didn't know they were
Oh,
making
yeah.
I have a
steaks.
7 a.m. flight.
Joby jumped right in. He's on the steak grill.
Oh, that's right.
You
Sorry.
leave at 7 a.m. tomorrow?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
I
Fucking
Monster.
This is a side note.
I'm not
but
already packed.
Are you at the condo?
No, no. I'm at some hotel, the Curtis.
I banged some girl in that condo the one time that Wendy booked me here, and I have a picture when I was going through my old photos for my book, and I'm just like, I need pictures, and I found one photo, and I go, I think that's the Denver Comedy Works condo, and I'm sitting next to a girl I'd never remember, and I'm not sure that it's the condo, and you go, oh, how many girls show up 20 years later, and I don't know that we fucked in a weird condo.
There's a girl that had a threesome with my feature act in Houston who just lost everything. And then he was like,
Oh no!
her name's Renee, I think. And
No,
she
the
was,
comic.
oh,
Did
Chad.
Did the threesome get flooded out?
It's Renee, I think.
Now we're
Chad Zumock. Chad Zumock. And then he like texted me. He was like, hey man, This is the girl I had a threesome with. She lost everything. Can you help her out? And I was like, you fucked her. I didn't do anything.
Oh, I got that same tweet. Oh, you see the brunette lady with the 2 little kids. I was still drunk.
I saw that a bunch of times on Twitter. How many people did she fuck? She looks kind of hot.
Go fund me for a 3-way flood survivor.
Listen, hit this solid chick up that's a fucking single mom that throws around threesomes.
Well, I'm probably not, but on the 14th of September this year of our Lord 2017, I'm scheduled to play the Houston Improv, and I text. Listen to this, Bert. I text Brian Hennigan, my agent guy, and he's at Burning Man.
Oh, is Ari at Burning Man too?
Yeah, he's in the camp next door to him. Him and Duncan Trussell are at the next door camp.
That's why they're all fucking. I saw Hennigan's Insta stories, and I was like, wait, why is he with Duncan? They're watching a movie.
Yeah, well, listen, Bert, listen to me. Hennigan, I text him because we're watching CNN, and I say, hey, are we even doing a Houston gig? And he texts back, it's already booked. I go, I know it's already booked. I mean, because the hurricane. He's in fucking Burning Man. He has no idea what's going on.
There's 500 seats, but they're down the block.
Houston Improv, I think it's fine.
So
a lot of guys are going to...
This is how mercenary Hennigan is. He texts back. He goes, oh, I see. The hurricane. He says, well, I emailed them today about ticket counts.
Yeah.
And they didn't say anything about it being canceled. I go, you shouldn't be emailing today.
Hey, what are our ticket counts?
Where everyone's fucking dying and being drug out by motorboats.
Well, we've got 180 floating, and then there's definitely 100 people sitting in the balconies.
Hennigan and Joel Osteen are the only 2 people completely clueless about Houston.
It's a fucking Katrina. Hennigan would be a burning.
Don't waste your thoughts and prayers, because the guys who do them in fucking Houston aren't even worried.
Yeah, Joel Osteen.
No answer at the Houston Improv.
Yeah, I think they're closed tonight.
It's a Tuesday. Tuesday.
Closed for remodeling.
Wouldn't it be funny? Because, you work improvs and funny bones, and they're all in these fake mini Truman Show cities that are on the outskirts of Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah.
Dayton, Ohio is a piece of shit. Stop.
Perrysburg.
Dayton, Ohio is a piece of shit. But they have this little suburb where they make a fake town full of P.F. Chang's and cheesecake factories and improvs. Wouldn't it be funny on the off nights when there's no improv if they turned that into ghetto?
Into what?
Flash dance and shit.
Oh, yeah?
They just boarded up all the windows. And they sell crack on Monday, Tuesday, because it only comes alive Wednesday through Sunday.
Do they let you riot in those towns on the off nights? They're like, we're dead on Mondays. Well, you guys want to riot?
Riots through Thursday, and then...
We've got Koreans on the on the tops of the stores shooting you.
It's like Civil War reenactments. Black Lives Matter versus fucking white supremacists on Monday,
you put that on
Tuesday.
the grill? What's that?
I think I'm getting punched.
It's done. On the way here today, there was a big billboard, and it was anti-mosquito billboard, and it said, fight the bite. And Jenny noticed it was doing. She goes, "Fight the bite. What is that?" And I go, "Hey, don't talk about that. That's white supremacist low-down code speech."
Yeah.
So
white supremacists.
So when we went through the border patrol checkpoint, which was right after, I was still feeling punchy, and I wanted to tell, "Fight the bite," but I had weed in my pocket. And I didn't want him to pull me over, so I just mumbled it. Fight the bite.
Bert has been doing. You just did. What'd you say? 2 weeks or a week? But 12 shows.
Yeah, 12 shows in 6 days. Fucking spent.
I'd have to say that you earned the machine title just on the number of shows you do.
We just did 20 shows in 3 weeks, but driving every day to a different show.
I would like to do that. I would rather do that than what I did.
You could do that easily.
I can't understand how you do 2 shows in a night.
It kills me a little bit. The first, but I feel like I'm not doing a great job because the first show, I think people would think it's good, but I just, I'm anticipating the next show. I'm already like, I never wanted to do theaters. I never wanted to do theaters. Now I kind of do because I go, it would be nice to go do a theater. And by the way, I'm doing like an hour and 20 minutes a show. So it would be nice to do a theater, do all my new material, work on my new material, and then do the machine story and be like, I'm done. One meet and greet would be fucking nice. And just spend your night and go, I'm done.
This is stuff that I wanted to write that down. Meet and greet and the podcast that had us transfixed where we stopped to piss or something, and I'm making everyone hurry so we can get back to your podcast, is when you were doing that thing about the casino, and you were all going to reveal your guarantee.
Jay Okerson, it was the...
Yeah. We got in a lot of trouble about that.
You told me you got in some shit.
A lot of trouble about that.
But they never got to it, right?
No, they did get to it, but there was confusion over which Oklahoma
we said two casinos. We said Calusa and the one it was, Cherokee. But Calusa heard it and was like... And it was we said it so interchangeably that they're like, did they just say our casino's paying them that much? By the way, I'm making more at Calusa. No offense.
So it was the gal, like, at Calusa. I was like, she doesn't care.
Yeah. And she didn't care. And she was cool. No. The girl at Cherokee. We're doing this again.
Point being, I want to talk to you. Hennigan, you're playing... You haven't done Australia yet, right?
I'm there. This podcast going out next
listen.
Week. I'm there
Australia,
this week.
You got to go see the machine.
Sydney,
Bert Kreischer.
Melbourne, Perth, and Brisbane.
It's fantastic. You'll
Are we
love it.
SwapCast? Are you guys releasing this week? Yeah, let's. Yeah.
When you do
Wednesday.
it, we drop it.
Tuesday night. We'll release it Tuesday night.
But we don't work for guarantees. But I really, and I've said this before on my podcast, any one of our circle, Burr, well, Rogan doesn't, he's in a different stratosphere. But I remember when Rogan was lazy and he'd go, I just take whatever the fucking club pays. So many comics are lazy. They just, let's swap fucking numbers people know what they're making.
What? Wait, Chaille?
Give
them a mic.
It's not the same as what they were doing.
I know, but it made me think. I've said for years.
But you brought this in on what they were talking about, the casinos and announcing and all that. You're talking about
a guarantee.
But what Doug is saying is like comics should talk amongst each other.
Ari, me, and Segura, and Joe. But Joe's so far beyond what I would ever make. But Ari, me, and Segura are totally transparent. We tell each other what we make to the point where I have to. Not let clubs where I'm trying to renegotiate know that I already know what they pay other people.
Yeah.
Like I end up going like, I can't go to like a club and go, I know what you pay Segura.
But
you use that as leverage.
The difference is what we make as door deals versus what you get as guarantee and think, oh, this is.
So okay, let's talk about this then.
Well,
so like right now,
I can't do it on the podcast.
That's what he's saying.
You
don't do it like you guys. You do it together.
Any comic that's headlining and doing what you do, I'll tell you what I do at a. He plays these shitty clubs. Well, hey, listen for a minute.
Really?
Yes. Anyone on our level.
Can I tell you, this is going to drive you nuts.
This construed as a monopoly, by the way.
Barry Katz, Mark, is saying just what you just said.
No, there's no Mark. This is
Barry Katz.
This is his SwapCast.
Said to me, so there was a theater that I got offered.
Who's Barry Katz?
He's a comedy manager.
He's a comedy.
I did that for the listener.
He's a comedy manager. He was my comedy manager for a long time. He did a bet with Doug. He represented Jay Moore. Yeah. He did a bet with Doug that Dane Cook would beat him.
Would you say that Judy Brown is a lateral move?
Stop.
No.
I'll stop when I get the rights
back
to no refunds. I'll back off. But
if we get sober for 90 days, I'm going to be a fucking vicious person about.
Most of Doug's diplomacy comes from alcohol.
Yes.
Most of Doug's diplomacy
and
comes
anger.
from alcohol.
Write that down too.
Barry
Cat
said,
I don't even know. Everyone said something. What am I writing down?
He was I think that he goes, I think you're getting fucked on these deals because I think you can get the venue. And he goes, I know your agents and managers don't want to hear this, but you can get the venue and then you can get the door. And then you don't have to go through these companies that hire the venue. So, like, the Vic is a perfect example. My deal for the Vic was a shit deal.
I know the end of this story for me is you don't have to go through Barry Katz.
That's your version.
Yeah. Direct to market.
His ending is going to be, and you only have to go through Barry Katz.
Yeah. I wish, but, okay. I wish there was a way to say this that it made sense. How do you do this? How do you do this? How do you do what you're saying and not become like, okay,
a pariah?
Yeah, like how do no, not you. You're different than everyone else. So but you're Doug Stanhope. So when you decide to go do these brown paper tickets, and you do what you do, everyone goes, fuck yeah, Stanhope's bucking the system. When I do it, they're like, oh, what's wrong with Bert? Like, it becomes almost like a pariah system.
Well, you brought that up on a podcast that we listened to where you said, oh, well, Netflix won't pay attention unless you move up to theaters.
Yeah.
Which I never thought about, but I don't care.
Yeah, but you don't care, but you
were talking perception in the market.
For my agents and managers, it's about a story. What story do we tell? So, like, the story they told about Denver, Bert Kreischer came in on a Sunday, didn't expect to have sell out a Sunday, sold out the week into Tuesday night, 2 shows a night clean. That's the story of the buyers. I know you know this conversation that you've had with managers. How do you? But
I've never had that conversation.
He doesn't. I talked to them.
I'd never thought about it till you said it on one of your podcasts.
Really?
Where Netflix, unless you're in a theater, where I eschew, which is a big word that I don't even remember the small word for it. Theater. I hate fucking watching stand-up specials in a theater because the fucking timing's all wrong. I want to see Norton at the Comedy Cellar. I don't want to hear
the Albany
giant rounds of applause that fuck up his timing.
Yeah.
If I know how funny he is, and if he's in a theater,
I don't want to see David Tell in a blazer. That's my truth. I want to see him in
the car or the garment.
The garment.
Sorry.
By the way, David Tell is the only one I could think of that is a comic that doesn't have a podcast that should.
Oh. It's call it David Tell at 3 a.m.
Yours was so good with him. Tracy and I were driving to New York on the tour, the beginning of the tour, and when you and were talking about Leanne having like code words of clips from the thing that you guys like, some of you aren't going to get it or whatever you said. Yeah. I go, Tracy, get on iTunes, and we bought Skanks for the Memories right there because I go, it's been so long, and then we just did the next hour for that.
You did one podcast where you're looking at, it was a live podcast where you're looking at each other's phones to see their recent Google searches. Well, today, or
the history, you can do that with me in a heartbeat. You can do that with me right now.
Today, or in the last 2 days, today's been a long day. I searched something about you, and it came up. Bert Kreischer's wife.
Because the first thing that comes up about me is they want to know what Leanne looks like.
Oh, I wanted to know too because I don't remember what she looks like.
Old.
Don't worry,
I think Tracy's gonna hit you.
I know. I love her. I love her
because I remember that day. I just
don't know how to get a podcast. Yeah, that's my favorite bit ever is go through my Google searches and ask me any question about anything. Here, you ready? I love this.
Come on, idiots. I know how to erase
by the way,
I was going to ask you,
history.
There's one time I did porn on a cell phone, Well, I'm sure it's more than once, but a couple times. But I won't watch anything. Like someone sends me a YouTube clip.
Yeah, you don't watch it.
Send it to my email.
Here, just go, flow through, read the tops.
I don't want to put my fingerprints on that phone.
No. Here. Just hold this.
This is like Chad Shank, fucking Montana.
And you can scroll through like this.
I wish we could tell that story.
Tell me anything you want to. Just read the top. And just go like, "Hey, Bert," and I'll just
These
inform
are all
you.
open web pages.
Yeah, that's my searches.
Is this how you guys do
That's
that?
how I do it.
So I'm just going to swing down because you obviously don't know how to clear this.
Yeah.
Or use private.
Oh, you can. By the way, you can see my.
I've Google
by the way,
search. How do I clear
just
this on
almost
Android?
got my Libsyn.
I
You
can't
could
do it.
Oh wait, no. You can do it like this.
Go air.
And just stay there.
I get it.
And go like so.
Just look at the top.
Yeah, look at the top.
Oh well.
Those are my Google numbers.
Those
are my Libsyn numbers.
Yeah.
Hit it.
All right.
Hit it.
Oh, I got to bring it down. I can't see even the numbers. That's
Bert
a
is highly
spike.
aware now. Since Bert's been doing this on his podcast.
Nope.
Hold on.
Really? You're meaning a genuine version of me.
Sign.
You're meaning a genuine version of me. This is what I do in my fucking closet where no one sees it.
I know, but you have to be aware since you've done it on the podcast.
I'm looking at my phone right now just to see what would happen.
Oh, you donated $100 to the Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund.
Yep.
Not to Red
What's her name?
Cross,
That's the
did
girl
you?
that had the threesome.
What?
That's the girl.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I didn't mean to be so on the nose.
They just stay in the group. Yeah.
I know,
Now
but,
flip,
but
yeah.
like I went to Libsyn and you'd already timed out. It was your login because
All right.
you were checking out how popular you are. We already know how popular you are.
Mistakes in there somewhere.
This
evidently.
podcast,
I thought they went
this
to bed and we
podcast
should
just jumped
leave.
the shark.
Oh, all right.
The secure, continuous, remote alcohol monitoring ankle bracelet blues. Who's that?
Yeah, we're trying to get an ankle bracelet for that challenge. But I think you're right. I think you just it's a
you.
If there's no honor, then there's no bet.
Andy's here. He can get you an ankle bracelet.
But it's
I like the idea of betting in order to do something positive because like I don't give a fuck and I won't do anything positive. So like if we bet on something, I can't bet a lot of money, but I'll do something for the principle of it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't care.
If you do it naked and afraid style on a not eaten by ants,
do it
but
on an island in a heartbeat.
no, in a place where they know you can't get alcohol. I've always said the best way to quit smoking, quit heroin, quit crack is to be in a place where you can't get
that's
heroin,
the easiest
crack.
way.
That's
Go
you
ahead,
don't need
read
an
it.
ankle
Read it,
bracelet.
Chaille. He just found this one.
Here's one. Justin Bieber nude photos posted on Selena Gomez's Instagram.
All right. I had a period of time.
You're such a fucking teenage girl sometimes.
I had a period of time where I was trying to figure out when it was okay to jack off to Selena Gomez. I was like, she's so hot, but she's still young.
Actually, that's 3 pages ago. That must have been last night.
That was last night.
Jerk off to stuff that's
Selena
soft.
Gomez is so fucking hot.
Why English to Mandarin? Why are you doing a Google search?
I'm
He's going to Singapore.
So I wanted to do a read. So I did all my Twitter posts in Mandarin.
Oh God.
I just
How's that working out for you?
Not good. Not good.
With the 200 people that bought tickets are not favoriting those tweets.
They're expats in Singapore. We don't read Mandarin. What are you, crazy?
Mandarin.
I didn't know this is interesting because I heard the podcast. We all did, and I didn't know this is what you did.
I love it.
Yeah.
It really gives you an insight to people. There was a couple ones that they didn't read that they showed me, and I was like,
nude pictures of Justin Bieber on Selena Gomez.
They were about Amy Schumer. All right, keep going. I am fucking buzzed. We probably should maybe eat because the food is ready.
Oh, yeah, we should. We
Should we
should
eat
do that.
and then maybe
I was going to
jump
go
in the
into some
pool?
Amy Schumer shit that I shouldn't.
Ooh,
but
talk.
no, I've been like riffing a thing. I left you a voice message about this because you talked about some kind of thing that happened to your wife where she got her ass grabbed and you tried to.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a.
And I called you. I go, hey, I have like an 87-minute rape bit right now that I'm trying to chop down by 5. And I go,
and it should be left exactly the way it is.
An 87-minute rape bit.
Well, there's one bit
that you had talked about on a podcast when we were Bertcast binging.
Yeah.
And I go, I just want you to know you know how you get panicked about, I didn't steal this from you.
All our girlfriends you guys were at a bar, and all the girlfriends were like defending her, and you're like, hold on now.
I was like, that's not rape, guys.
Yeah.
It's not sexual assault. It's just a guy being a dick.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a crazy thing? So the school...
As long as you don't step on the bit I'm already doing that I thought I stole from you.
Georgia, they want Georgia... Leanne wants Georgia to the school.
Your kid.
So my oldest. And there's a...
I'd grab that ass any day.
They do this thing at this new school where they sit the white kids down.
Wait, which is that the one with the mustard in her hands or not?
No, not.
That's how you can tell which is which. That's how.
Please.
The mustard hands are not.
That line cut.
Please don't forget where you were because they sit the white kids down is the best
The white
opening.
kids sit on the floor, crisscross
applesauce.
And then the kids of color stand on chairs and shout racial slurs at them.
Like cracker?
Just let them know what oppression feels like. So they yell words of oppression to the white kids, and my wife's such a fucking...
Where was this?
Like, legit... Yeah, this is in L.A.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah, and Liam's like, nah, fuck yourself. That's not happening to my kid.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, it's racist if you don't allow
If you don't participate.
Yeah, if you don't. And Leanne's like, go fuck yourself. And then the next day, the next semester, the girls do it to the boys. So it starts with, yeah, right? And I was like, oh. I said it last night. I don't think anyone believed me. Like, they were like, that's impossible. But yeah, that's happening in Georgia's high school.
So glad my kids are grown. I could
school?
never deal with that.
Yeah, all right. Let's go eat steak because now I'm going to go on a fucking tirade about you should homeschool your fucking kids.
Let's eat steak, and then we'll maybe jump in the pool.
You don't have kids. You don't want them at home all the fucking time. You want to get rid of them somewhere.
I know. Let's not get political. Let's go eat steaks. That's ridiculous. This guy's got a flight. Bert Kreischer has a flight.
Bert, I had a thing. My son was in... I think maybe 4th grade or so. They were taking him up on a hike.
Right before he started doing coke and smoking with him.
Well, I didn't do coke with them until they were of age. I don't know what age is to do coke.
That's the coke age.
When they didn't live in my house anymore, that's of age. You can do as much blow as you want.
Yeah.
But when he was in like 4th grade or so, they took him on a hike, and I had to sign permission slips to go on this hike. And he was excited about it. It was a big accomplishment, like a 14-mile hike. And he went, and he comes back, and how was your hike, son? And he's like, man, we got about halfway through the hike, Dad, and we came across an illegal immigrant camp. And they made us clean it up before we could eat lunch. And I fucking lost my shit. I was like 100 miles an hour down to the school, and I fucking went in and threw open the door, and I'm yelling, and I'm the only one there. Nobody else is outraged, and I'm like, what the fuck how did you guys make these little kids clean up an illegal immigrant camp? Before lunch, did you have gloves for them? And they're, well, no, it wasn't something we planned on doing. We just came across it, and we thought it would be a good deed for Earth Day. And I was like, all right, well, my son cleaned up some women's panties. Do you know the health of the woman who changed her panties in the mountain before, the
woman that hiked 19 miles.
Well, no, we didn't do that. I go, all right, well, did you have...
If she would hike 19
Did you have like Purell for them before they could eat? Because you made them clean this up before lunch. Be right there. No, they put no forethought into that shit at all.
No, none.
They were so fucking ashamed. They had their head down. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous to do this. So yeah, I can't imagine having
Wendy, come on out
these days.
Wendy's waving us in.
Help us close this up, Wendy.
How do we close this up, Wendy? We're at 2 hours and 37 minutes.
Yeah.
Comedy Works Denver, also in Greenwood Village, 2 of the most amazing comedy clubs in the country.
2 now? Wow, you've grown.
You definitely would work the other one.
And hate me.
I don't know. Like, how do you think that I built this?
Oh. I still can't believe you don't party.
You know what? Because...
Hang on. Have you ever slept with a comedian?
No.
Hold on, Wendy. Never?
Never.
I would have definitely had that shrapnel in my life.
Did you ever sleep with someone who was funny?
Probably not. How about that?
If you had to sleep with one comedian, who would it be?
Besides
dead
you
or
two?
alive?
Dead or alive? Dead or alive. I was going to say the same thing.
Not when they're dead.
Dead or alive?
It could maybe it would be Geraldo.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wish he was alive to hear that.
Sexy and brilliant mind, brilliant comedic mind. I think he was
Geraldo.
a great guy.
Okay, comedian that tried to sleep with you that you were repulsed by.
Nobody.
Oh, come on.
No.
Come on.
You guys, I'm so dead serious in that I never
Club's 36 years old.
But I never took it. I never let anything like that. I just never.
Who made you watch him masturbate?
Nobody. Because when everybody was partying.
Did anyone ever lock you in a room and make you watch the masturbate?
No.
So you haven't had him here?
Oh my God! Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Zip it like it's in your pocket.
Stanhope?
Oh my gosh!
All right, I'll do
I've
it
heard
right
those
now.
stories.
If I start masturbating, will you throw me out?
Man, I don't want to watch that again.
No, but we won't let you near that pool.
Jeez.
It's like the machine bit with the shirt off. That's me. Me masturbating in front of you is watching him do the machine with his shirt off again.
Yeah, what responsibility do you have to give comics that aren't funny but are different than white men? Like, white men are the only ones that are funny. Like, so what responsibility do you feel like you have to give to like when you look at your calendar, you're like, I got a book. 5 females, a lesbian, a black dude. Nope.
I don't.
You just
Hang
book
on.
funny.
Yeah.
Bert, we do this, and I hope you start doing this.
I will.
Hennigan starts it. Hennigan likes stories of the worst, the best, the most fucked up. When you play a funny bone or an improv, there's always a server that's assigned to the green room.
Yeah.
And we always ask now, who's the biggest diva, prick, fucking asshole that needs the worst person that the server has to deal with in the green room? So I would ask you this.
You're going to ask a business person
douche,
this question.
Not as a comic on stage, but in the green room, who demands the most that you, because you still book people, that you don't book anymore. I'll give you that caveat.
That's hard to say. There's very few. Like, I don't like those big writers because I'm like, I don't want to
Very
watch.
few means you have one. Give us a name.
Well, it could be, but like, because I don't like food to go to waste and things like that. I want to give it to the homeless. I mean, I live across the street from the park. I'm constantly feeding the homeless, but
throwing tater tots over your gated community
I
wall.
take
green
bags, lunches out and things to them. But I
snot rocketing out of the pool over the fence. Take that, homeless.
Stop
my burger just fell in the chlorine.
I'm definitely getting in your pool, by the way, Wendy. I'm definitely getting in your pool. I brought my Speedo.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I would
You're going to wear fucking clothes in there? We're jumping in there naked.
Naked pool party?
That's what we usually do. We usually get naked.
That's starting very soon.
These guys are just going to call it a bath, just so you know.
Sweet. Who is it? Who is it, Wendy?
I don't know if I can think of it. There's just so few. Because there's so few that I even pay attention to the writer. I just go, no, we're not putting that on the writer. Just, what do they want? We have one, I've got a restaurant in the
So
South Club.
I'll name a name. Just all you have to
Eddie
say
Griffin.
is writer or no writer, okay?
Oh, Eddie Griffin. That was
Griffin
retarded.
that was
a retarded writer.
Yeah.
When we started asking,
Fucking
back when
retarded.
Eddie Griffin, someone tried to pick him up at the airport in a white car. I ain't driving a white car. But
Really?
Paul Mooney said it's usually the top 3 are 2 black guys.
The Wayans brothers are big rider guys.
Oh, it's I can't.
I don't know which one that would be.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's Mike Epps, a big rider guy.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Epps is we always get.
Yeah. Harry Spears.
But one of the Wayans we get, but the white guys, Pauly Shore One time it was Screech was...
Screech had a rider?
No, just being assholes about...
Oh, yeah.
For a server.
Why would Screech be an
Julio?
asshole?
Not tipping. Asking a lot,
By the way, I
not
forget
tipping.
to tip every fucking time.
I get Tracy.
I just do because I drink. So like by the end of the week, last night,
that's what I do.
I had the same server all weekend, and I said to her, I said, "Have I tipped you?" She said, "You have not." And I went, "I am so sorry," and I gave her $100. But I was like, "I'm fucking sorry. I'm horrible about it. I do forget it." I do a waitstaff raffle. Doug, you should start doing that.
Yeah, no.
You got the corner on that.
Back up your act a little bit. Come on, guys.
I can barely remember my fucking new material.
I kind of think, you guys, that honestly that because we hear so many stories about how cool we are, the staff, the accommodations, it's no secret that I've got the coolest fucking condos in the country, hands down.
No,
and I own them.
I stayed at the hotel.
They should have a guest book so I could remember the girl I fucked there years ago.
Dang it. But
she's probably still going there. Yeah.
I have a picture, but I don't remember it.
But we have so many people that are so grateful to be there, that have heard the stories about the club, that want to play the club, and then they. I gotta sound this. I'm gonna lose my humility.
No. Everyone says this about you.
Yeah.
And that's when I thought you hated me. I go, yeah, they think they're cooler than they are because you don't book.
Did he really think that?
Oh yeah, when we tried to.
I don't know.
I think everyone who call and say the work show, and Doug's first thing was that Wendy doesn't like me. She won't book me, and I was like, let me reach out. I think Heidi called you, and you were like, I'd love to do that. And then I wrote back, I was like, they'd love to do it.
Wait, are you the guy that did the Dave Stroop negotiation?
Yeah.
I just worked Dave Stroop's club. I just saw him for the first time.
Holy cow, you need to start doing an intervention with anybody that hates Stanhope.
Yeah.
You were a perceived hate, but Dave
You better
Stroop,
start
we actually had a
some
beef.
other shit.
That's more than a 90-day.
Dude, yeah.
Let's go eat steak.
Job.
Let's go eat
one's
steak.
been a work in progress.
Let's go
I've been
eat
talking to Stroop about Doug for fucking years.
We hugged it out before
Did you
we
really?
said a word.
Aww.
We just, two nights ago.
That's great. Wait, you just did it?
Yeah, Columbus.
Yeah, I went
Very
to
cool.
breakfast with Stroop one morning, and he was like, so you're friends with Stanhope? And I was like, yeah, I love him. I didn't know that you guys had that beef. And we went through and talked. Yep. And so we talked about it. I go, man, it's like Ari. I defend Ari. Ari can say things in it's like no filter. Like he just says things. Really? Why?
Idiot!
Oh yeah. Nice teeth, idiot. To my daughter. My daughter has broke her jaw and fell, and so she has fucked up teeth. And I posted a picture of us in Hawaii, and Ari's just like, "Way to have no teeth, idiot." And then all these fucking people.
The picture looked like she lost her baby teeth, and he didn't know that you don't lose your baby teeth when you're 40.
13.
And by the way, Leanne fucking lost her shit and was like, I am not friends with Ari. I will never be friends with Ari. And was like, Ari's dead to me. Ari was oblivious to the fact that it upset her. And then, I had to delete the photo. And then Ari came over, and Leanne's like, he can't walk through our front door. He's got to walk through the... He comes back to the gate. Yeah. I'm not going to say hi to him. I'm not going to speak to him. And I don't want... Yeah, how's he getting in? And I still haven't really brokered that deal. What? Yeah, I know. No,
really?
It's not done.
I will broker that deal.
Yeah.
I will do that when I tell your kids there's no fucking tooth fairy.
And no tooth fairy, no Santa.
Which would be a segue.
But can you then go, there's no tooth fairy, there's no Santa Claus, but the Easter Bunny's real.
Santa Claus is the closer. I go from the teeth and Ari into the tooth fairy. I slam the mic down on Santa Claus. I leave the house.
Do you realize it could be pay-per-view? Doug Stanhope tells two children there's no Santa Claus.
That's going to be devastating for the aftermath that you have to deal with, so I can talk to you about some smooth lies to tell to smooth over his truth.
Seriously, I remember the moment sitting on the couch where my parents told us there was no Santa Claus. And I felt like an idiot but I still remember it. That's a memory, and you're doing it like funny, but they're gonna remember that forever.
Dude, well, it's either I do it and they go, my dad's a liar, or Doug does it and I just kind of like pass by in the background.
Yeah, I think you make him the bad guy.
Yeah.
But I remember learning from older kids. I was the oldest in my family of 2, but we kind of learned at school from older kids that like had older brothers and sisters or whatever. Isn't that how we all learned about it?
Georgia asked me about it, and I said, yeah. I said, that girl's parents aren't together. Santa Claus doesn't go to parents that get divorced. We've really led into this a lot. We've really leaned into this Santa Claus
I was 6
fucking lie.
when my parents got divorced and my mother went to Alcoholics Anonymous. There was not a lot of bullshit about Santa Claus.
I want to hear Doug Stanhope's speech to Georgia. It would be great if it started off like this. All right, Georgia and Isla.
It starts like this.
Okay.
I am Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now in a small cave, half lit.
Okay.
Like Halloween lighting, uplight, flashlight over my face in a dark cave. That's how it starts.
Okay. And then what do you say?
I don't know. I'm focusing on the lighting.
I like the lead-in of, I was 6 when my parents got divorced.
Bert, when my kids were starting to figure out what was going on, because for one thing, I realized at some point that the kids got Christmas vacation, and for like 2 weeks, I had a closet full of secret toys that I would hide from them for 2 weeks while they were out of school, and then I would give them to them, and they would play with them for 3 days and then go back to school. So I was like, fuck that, I'm changing the rules. So I just started telling them, Christmas is the day you guys get out of school, is Christmas. And I would tell them, and the way I broke it down is I said, you know how you guys were wondering about how Santa Claus can really go everywhere in one night? You guys are too smart. You know that he can't do that. So what he does is he schedules ahead of time with other people so that he makes a lot of previous stops before Christmas. So our Christmas is on December 17th when you guys have fucking Christmas break. And that way, for the entire Christmas break, they could be occupied with toys instead of being assholes while I had distractions hidden in the closet. So
that's better than my lie. I told Georgia that Jesus and Santa were brothers.
Oh, fuck.
And when the Jews killed Jesus, Santa fucking hid out.
Jesus Christ, Bert, I thought my kids were dumb.
I did.
You need somebody else to tell them the truth.
I was like, dude,
Why don't you just rape them so they grow up better?
Oh my God.
Wendy, he's free next week.
Oh my God. Well, I did have a fallout. Thank God I filled it today. Holy shit.
I trusted my dad. I mean, it's just crazy. I know he's wrong.
Is probably within about 30 minutes of being here, by the way.
Okay.
At 10:05, Rob said they were less than an hour away. And it's
James Inman is coming here.
Wait, I've always said his name's I'm fucking drunk.
Okay. This is all right. We we shouldn't. But you told a story, and I love you for always mentioning my name on the podcast.
Yes.
But you told a story, which of course you did a misdeed in the details. As we do, about Ron White. You talked about Ron White and how he's like, yeah, I buy a lot of material from really funny comics, and what I do is I take the teeth out of them so they're not funny anymore, and then I deliver them to my audience, and they applaud.
Yeah.
But you told the story a few weeks ago on the Bert Cast binge we went through, and you missed a few details, but you said, he buys jokes from, like, Doug Stanhope said he bought jokes from James Inman, Inman has no sellable jokes. When you go into, like, one of those hippie towns like Madison, I'll tell you a joke for 50 cents. Even Inman couldn't sell a fucking joke of his own. So you said Inman instead of Andy Andrist, who's right here. So you said, so we fuck with Inman. So we're going to take the clip from your podcast where you he buys, like, I think James Inman's jokes, and we're gonna
James Inman's
work
jokes
him
are
up
unsellable.
into saying, why are you taking credit for Andy Andrist jokes?
Oh, that's great.
And just saying that you wrote those. I didn't say that. And I'm gonna go. We're gonna play the clip for you.
I worked with James Inman in Atlanta a long time ago.
Long time ago.
He's a kid, right?
No,
you're not.
Who did I work with? Who did I work with?
It's not.
He wouldn't even be able to afford an abortion.
James Inman.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Be able to afford
He couldn't afford bus fare away.
Oh, fuck no.
Who are the Unbookables?
He's
It was Inman.
Inman's on the Unbookables documentary. He created it against
Brandon
my will.
Walsh. Brandon Walsh.
Walsh, yeah.
Brett Erickson.
Brett Erickson. Is he a kid?
Andy, Sean Rouse.
Not
I know
that count.
Andy's
Brett
you're out of
Erickson kids
DC,
are grown.
right?
No,
we gotta
I'm
get
from
Sean
Oregon.
Rouse on the road, but we need a handler.
Dude, have you had Sean Rouse in here? I would like to hear that story.
It's been a long time ago.
Yeah, he's changed a lot since then. He's better.
Is he better?
Yeah,
No.
hell yeah. Oh, all right.
He's
Wait,
funny.
Wendy.
Trying to get him a gig.
He'll still
Just
bite
tell
your
us about Sean
customers.
Rouse.
I wouldn't book him again. I remember that.
I remember that day too.
I think maybe actually there were 2 dates because I did give him another shot, and yeah, it was rough.
Booze or just material?
No, I think it was about the booze. I think it was both.
Do you have a report on me?
I don't know. I have to go back
Did you
through my
work the Comedy
files.
Works?
I gotta go
shit,
through my
she does,
files.
probably. Yeah, with you. Fonseca fell out of his chair and had to follow that.
No, that's the Oriental.
No,
By the way,
it happened at
No,
Your
I-
sidebars are fucking
Yeah.
great.
At the comedy?
Wendy.
I only
You're-
worked
you're-
there once.
Yeah, no, we worked there together, and then Fonseca
I'll
fell
wait
out of his
until
chair.
All the mics are off to hear the good story.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Fonseca. Is
Yeah,
that another?
that's
let's not
another.
talk
He's
about
like
it.
he's a he
Fonseca,
He burnt
I'll
a
tell
lot
you
of
my
bridges.
Fonseca, last time he
Chris
asked for a
Fonseca's
guest set.
in a wheelchair,
He's
right?
cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't take his phone call without an interpreter anymore.
Good idea.
He called me to book me, and I couldn't understand what the fuck.
He's got cerebral palsy, but he's also a hardcore alcoholic. So you assume that his slurred speech is because of his condition. But we all know it's not. I remember I had to follow him. He was doing a college gig when I was doing like a one-nighter early on when I had a mullet. And he did a college gig but got a guest set at a one-nighter in La Crosse, Wisconsin, where he went up. And back then, he was a little more lucid. And he's killing. This is 24 years ago, and I have to follow him because he goes up between me and Becker, and he's killing in a small triple gig one-nighter. And that's when Becker looks at me and goes, if you could ever find a time for monkeys to fly out of your ass, now's the time. Cut to the last time I played the Oriental, he's like, can I get a guest set? And you go, yeah, okay. He shows up. He's so fucked up. He went out and at the merch booth, he starts pissing himself in khaki pants in a chair and doesn't leave. He's just obviously pisses running down his leg at the merch booth.
Whenever I piss myself at the merch booth, I walk away for a minute because I know sales are going to decline.
He's a professional.
He is a professional.
Which at that point, when you're hammered after a show, you think it's funny, but no one could understand a word he said on stage. He's
tragic.
Yeah.
We should eat steaks.
But he's been sober for 5 years, I see on Facebook.
Smoke weed.
He's actually turned, he's sober.
Can we smoke weed at your house?
Yeah.
We'll smoke weed and then we'll get in the
It's
pool.
legal in Colorado, remember?
Oh my God!
All
really?
right.
What have I done?
Wendy, thank you very much for having
Oh my
Wendy.
God! Thank you. It's been fun, much fun.
Hey, I have to say this. I've said this every show, and I'll say it one more time. When I listen to Skanks for the Memories, I imagined what this club looked like. And it has been a dream of mine to play this club because that is my favorite comedy album ever. And I literally, I am so grateful that you gave me an opportunity to play this club. I had a fucking blast. I really
He
did
told
have a
me
fucking
that one of my
blast.
albums was his favorite album ever.
Well, he told me
he's-
that. Oh,
he's-
no.
Bert is great for hyperbole. Every episode, that's what we
should be
look
the name
for.
of my next
If you want to
special,
do a
Bert
drinking
Kreischer
game,
hyperbole.
The greatest ever.
if you want to do a drinking game on the Bert Kreischer podcast, the Bertcast, you drink every time. It's the best ever thing. I never
ever.
saw a better thing.
Or
Everything
or
is the
secret.
best thing.
Or secrets. I like telling
Yeah.
secrets.
No, you like not telling secrets, and that's what we're gonna do together as we eat steaks. I have a list of things that
I
you
can't
teased on your
fucking wait. I
podcast,
can't
and you're
fucking
gonna
wait.
tell me the truth.
Doug, where are you going to be at this week?
I'm gonna be this week, maybe Houston. That's the worst thing.
Holy cow! Are you really booked in
Yeah,
Houston?
I'm booked in Houston for the September 14th, but we don't know.
It might not be.
He's hoping they have a really big shop vac.
Here, if you go to, fuck, I'll jack you up for this. Because I'm playing Gainesville. That's where you're from, right? That's your place? What's your college? What's your college town?
Tallahassee.
Fuck, we're not going to Tallahassee. I jacked you up once. Hey, give me some fucking plugs for Gainesville.
Johnny Knoxville. Not Johnny Knoxville. Johnny Depp's from Gainesville. Or no. Yeah.
He's down on the...
No. River Phoenix. Ooh.
Anyway, here's where I'm going to be.
hammered now.
Texas, Louisiana, I think maybe one of those Alabama, Biloxi, or Mobile, or Pensacola, down through Florida. DougStanhope.com. Find it. Fuck you. I don't care if you show up. I'm done with this. My bills are paid. I don't have kids.
Meanwhile, I'm recording people's voicemails for $50. So I'll take voiceover work at Audioshank at iCloud.com or look me up, Chad Shank at voices.com. I'm submitting auditions there.
I know there's a prostitute that's so upset. She goes, I bought Audio Skank. Fuck. I'll suck your dick. And then they go, oh, it's Chad Shank. I'm hammered.
Chad, you have to... Chad. I just called him Chad. Sorry.
You're drunk.
September 9th, I'm in Singapore.
Just go... All you have to do is...
a friend.
Listen. Killer termites. Just bang Singapore. Oh, shit. This is going down in Singapore.
Oh.
Just hashtag Singapore.
Just fucking light up Singapore.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm trying to sell
Make it sound
right now.
like some shit's going down. Like hashtag white nationalist, hashtag BLM.
Hashtag white nationalist. Hashtag Nashville Promises. What's the new one?
I have no idea. Just
National statement.
Just go out of control on a hashtag with Singapore with the link.
I can't wait to get in Wendy's pool. Wendy, thank you so much for allowing us to come here in your pool.
Oh my God!
Party at
Thank you.
Wendy's.
It was great fun. No, you guys hungry?
About time you wash your pussy.
We're hungry.
Oh my God!
There
I was
we go.
saying that too.
What a way to end the podcast. It's about time you wash your pussy.
Are you talking about that nursing
gotta
home
go.
photo?
I have to leave.
All right.
Flooding in the nursing home?
Singapore, Bert Kreischer, Australia, Singapore. I will show up at one of your shows before you tape your special.
Please, but just be gentle because it's not that good of an hour. Doug, I love you. Wendy, I love you. Chad, I love you.
Love you guys, too.
Tracy, I love you. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I'm fucking hammered. How are the audio levels? Good, Shannon?
Play the Mattoid.
Party time. Party time. Party time. Party time. Drink your drinks and eat your eats. It's party time. Laugh your laughs and heat your heats. It's party time. Smile your smiles and blue your blues. It's party time. Yeah. time, party time, party time, party time, party time, party time, party time. Hey!